Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to SimPlay Motorsport. We are here for the 90-minute race, the only 90-minute, one of the two, 90-minute races of this season. Really looking forward to this one, and it's great to be back on the pro grid. I'm your host, Mathew Duffin, bringing you all of tonight's action and drama throughout this field on the grid. We're in for a cracking night's worth of racing, and let me tell you, it is going to be electric out here. It has been what we saw last night. Yes, we had some server issues with disconnections, but it was a fantastic race throughout. We are having a few server issues at the moment where everybody is being disconnected, myself included. We've had to reset the lobby twice to lower the practice time down to where it should be, but hopefully it will remain stable for the rest of the evening. Either way, one thing we can say is we are so glad to be back with you here this week. It's been a cracking week at Kyalami, and we hope it can continue even further into the rest of the season. As we can see at practice at the moment, 6 minutes left. The drivers haven't had long out there. It got reset with a 15-minute session. It's Milliston currently on pole on provisional fastest from Ben Rook. And not a lot of Platinum drivers have set quick lap times at the moment, or representative lap times at the minute. A lot of Gold drivers in tonight. A few of the Platinums are missing from this race. But we have a 28-car grid, in which should be absolutely fantastic to see. Good evening to Chris in the chat, Peaceful Stepdad, Neil Broom, Arctic Fox and Wanas in the chat as well. And the championship standings we will quickly run through before the first qualifying session of the night. In the Platinum standings then, it is Radic who leads the way on 262 points, followed by Ben Rook. Schmidt is P3 from Marinic, Vitas, Mezin, Ian McGowan from Overtaker, Milliston, and then Patrick Leger rounding out your top 10. If we look then to P11, it is Sokolov from Comor, Mike Matthews from Mackenzie, Cairns, Skunky, Pletasek, Rizalski and Cosme. In the Gold Championship, Michael Harris has a commanding lead over Clace in the Gold Championship so far. Some 63 points is that gap. DeCourty's third, not far behind Class, with Cardno, Messino, Ugoni, Maiga, Van der Ven from Richie Michel and Hibbs rounding out the top 10. Manavola is P11 from Benny Varga, Matt Wright, Butcher, Gillies, Gleeson, Wainwright, Stothard, Jimenez, Rob Smith, Langley, Castro, Ramsell and Westerich down the bottom. In terms of the Teams Championship, it is BAL Racing who lead the way from Balkan Sim Hub, Racing Soft to P3 from Balkan Esports, Cloud9 Racing from Balkan OZ Racing. The Casuals are ahead of the Flying Dutchman, Greasy Bandits with SimPlay Racing rounding out your top 10. P11 for Team KCS Squadra Corsa from the Sleepy Lizard Repsol Racing Team, Momentum PR Team from Quantum Motorsport, Only Momentum, Momentum Motorsport, Team Richie's Corsa, MMS and Bearded Racing rounds out your grid, your championship standings. So hopefully everybody's well in the chat. We are out there on the circuit, 28 cars like we've said in the lobby at the moment for a very cloudy, gloomy day here at Kyalami. No chance of rain in the forecast, but it is a very cloudy one to get the ball rolling back here in the Pro Series. The 90-minute race last night provided us with great drama at the very end and almost gives you that kind of insight into what we could see tonight and into Indianapolis with the drama we had. Yes, the disconnections wasn't ideal, but the racing was spectacular as Overtaker tops the top of the timing sheet at the moment. A man who has gone well at Kyalami in the past. Can he keep that up and do it once again here tonight? It's going to be an interesting night's worth of racing, that is for sure. And I'm very eager to see what strategies drivers will be pulling out there. Now, the format for tonight is the qualifying session, the same as Brands Hatch, where the Golds will get the first 10 minutes, the Platinums will get the second set of 10 minutes, and then we'll go to a quick 10-minute break before the race, where drivers will be able to run to the toilet, grab some refreshments, myself included as well, and we'll get underway for that 90-minute non-stop action of 28 cars roaring around this beautiful circuit here in South Africa. So Overtaker rounds to start one more potential lap time. He may decide to come into the pits and call it today. The bonus for these drivers with the couple of resets we've had due to the disconnections of everybody is that the tyres will be brand new and fresh. So this is clean rubber on these cars at the moment because we had to reset it with 15 minutes of practice left in the session. So let's see what will happen in this race going forward. But one thing we do know is overtaker with Patrick Leger, pretty much a surprise. Vitas just continuing that form he's had all season at the moment. Mezin's down in 5th, and we saw how good them BMWs was last night at Pro-Am. Really BMW dominant it was there in terms of the cars on the circuit, with the Lexus and then the Lamborghini sort of mixing it at the front. As Vitas just moves into 2nd place, top 3 separated by less than 1/10 of a second, so brilliant to see. Ben Ruck, you know, it's a very tight field. 2/10 separates, just under 3/10 actually separate the top 10, so a very tight field out there at the moment. As we're seeing Gleeson come round the hairpin at the top of the circuit. It's a second that covers the top 13 as Mezin now goes provisional fastest, and now the top 4 are all within 1/10 of each other. Drivers yet to set a lap time is Jimenez and Cardno, and you can expect to see some tyre changes tonight for majority of the field. The tyre change, yes, only takes 5 seconds longer, but we should be able to be seeing a bit more of a longer run from these drivers in the first stint. We did see last night that a bit of damage for these drivers could put into a different strategy for the for certain people. The problem you've got is you can only do around about just over an hour on a full tank of fuel. So if you are pitting early, you will possibly have to 2-stop in this race for fuel, remembering that the fuel is 25 seconds no matter how much you put it in the tank. Good evening to Dan Davis as well in the chat. Great to see you in there, Dan. There's Sam Williams as well. And are the servers too weak that they are racers that cannot enter the server? They do seem to be having a moment tonight. It's not just our server as well. I have seen from a few people in the Discord chat that other groups and other championships are having similar issues. So G-Portal clearly having, or Kunos themselves clearly having a few problems with a few server issues tonight. Like we said, we did have lag moments last night, but that only kicked a handful of drivers each time. Tonight it has been 2 full disconnections in practice, so we hope that this won't affect anything. Remember, if we do get to that 3/4 race distance, which will be around that half an hour mark, if we have completed an hour of the race, then we will see that of half points scored for this evening. And obviously the points are different for tonight. With it only being the one race, the points then are spread out to times 1.5 their original value. So the chance for drivers tonight to score more points maybe in one race than what they could over the 2 with the reverse grid. No reverse grid here, and practice coming to an end. We're going to see Gleeson come across the line as we await now for the qualifying session. Just a reminder that qualifying will take place, the 20-minute qualifying. Then we'll head into a 11-minute 30 window for the drivers to prepare on the grid. This was due to the issues we saw last night with the 10-minute free practice 2 session before the race, then affecting the grid positions of the drivers after qualifying. To negate that, we have put a 10-minute extra onto the waiting time on the grid. This will be that 10-minute free practice window for the drivers and for myself to be able to get a drink or grab what we need for that hour-and-a-half race. The goals come out, though, in the qualifying session at the moment, and it looks like Vitas remembered pretty early there because he went straight back into the pit lane. And it is Hibbs, your first man out on the circuit here to qualify at Kyalami. So the Golds make their way onto the track for the first time tonight. Let's see what they can all do in this race. As just reading a bit of the chat at the moment. Dan's planning his racing season. I don't know if that's in terms of a race, to watch the racing. I saw that Dan's going to, I believe it was Goodwood this year. So enjoy that one, Dan. And we are back indeed, Stothard, on the channel. Great to be back. Great to have such a grid as well for tonight. And you guys in the chat are going to have to keep me company for a lot of this one tonight because I am on my own for 90 minutes. So we're going to have to hopefully get some good interaction with the track, with the chat, and hopefully the drivers will be able to put on an absolute clinical here and in the race at Kyalami. But the gold qualifying underway. Remember, for the platinum drivers, they can line up at the end of the pit lane. No ghosting is allowed because that could affect drivers exiting the pits coming into turn 1. And if the gold drivers start a lap time before that 10-minute window is over, they can finish the lap they are on. So far, let's see what will happen. Good evening to John Goudet as well in the chat at the moment. And good evening to Gary Clawble as well. So welcome in, everybody. The 20-minute qualifying is underway. And let's see what will happen as Hibbs is the first man to start his flying lap. As Benny Varga, must have clipped the cheetah there. Had a big moment through the cheetah. There's a lot of cars on the circuit at the moment. Less platinum drivers than golds here tonight. So there's a lot of... This will be the busiest the track will be in this first 10 minutes of the session. And Hibbs comes down the hill to start his first flying lap. On board with him now in towards turn number 1. Got to be patient on the accelerator coming through here as he slides his way through. Picks it up for turn 2. Touches the curb. You don't want to touch the curb on the left. That sausage curb will hurt you. Into turn 4 now. Again, a little slidey through there from Hibbs. Tyres may just not be up to temperature and pressure just yet. Might be worth watching the second run to see what he can do there. Turn 5, long old right-hander. Got to wait to find that throttle. Mid-corner, start to put the throttle down and power out before that short burst in towards turn number 6. Another curb which is slightly raised. Doesn't affect the car too much if you get it right. And now dropping downhill into the S's before you climb back uphill immediately after. Careful on your exit here, because this is a place on the exit where you could just run a little bit wide and cost yourself some time. Up to the top of the hill we go. And this is going to be an interesting one to see what the drivers can do. An overtaking opportunity we saw last night, but also a chance as you hit the brakes, still climbing up the hill, for drivers to run wide at the corner. Down the mine shaft we go. Try and keep it as left as you can to that inside line, as Hibbs does there, picking up your braking zone in towards Crocodile. And another corner, very easy to outbrake yourself on. You need to make sure you get that right. Now the most difficult corner on the track. Do not touch the curb on the inside as Hibbs gets very close without touching it. Beautiful exit from the cheetah and in towards the final corner. Maybe a little bit wider than what he'd have liked there, but a good exit and comes towards the line. What's this lap time going to be from Hibbs in this one? A 41.8 as we drop back now. Let's try and find Michael Harris, who's about to come towards the line. What will he be able to set in this session? We'll then turn to the 157. So Michael Harris to the line as Cardno goes second. Harris now goes the fastest on the track. Here comes Jimenez then. He's the man we wanted to see. And what will his lap time be as he comes through to the start line now and goes third fastest? The 135, that is Matt Wright coming around the final corner. We'll pick up the 57 of Manavola in just a moment. Where does Matt Wright go? Crosses the line up into P4. Now where's Manavola in that Ford Mustang? What can he do in this race tonight? Dan Davis in the chat saying that Kyalami requires precision and patience. Indeed it does. Danny's planning on doing Thruxton and Donny in April. That's great to see. Love Kyalami, says John Goudet. Do you like to be commentator? Love to be the commentator. Find it a fantastic job, especially when the racing is as good as it is here at SimPlay Motorsport. John saying so rewarding when you get it all correct. It really is. Front engines can touch the cheetah. Dan has done this, not only in the Chevrolet Camaro, I believe in the Lexus as well. One is Clays. I may come back for a special guest appearance at some point soon. That's great to hear, John. Oh, what, in the commentary box or on the track, John? I think that may have been. As Manavola then has done his lap time. And who are we going to turn to now? It is the number 34, the number 31 of Hibbs, who's about to finish his time. Gleeson went into second place. A couple of drivers didn't set a lap on the first time around. So a few invalidated times throughout this first run. 4 minutes 47 seconds until the Platinum drivers will take to the circuit. And here comes Hibbs. What will Hibbs do this time around? Doesn't improve. Stays 2/10 off of that pole time. Here comes Tom Cardno, who was quick in practice before the first reset. And towards the line comes Tom Cardno now. Can he find any bit more lap time? He does. Go second place as Harris then keeps hold of pole position. In fact, Harris went a little bit quicker that time around. We're going to pick up the 933 of Richie Michelle as Jimenez has moved into 7th place. Here is Richie Michelle. Matt Wright right behind him. Bit squirrely on the exit there for Matt Wright. Richie Michelle to the line. Stays P7. Matt Wright moves up to P5. So a good lap for him there. The 57 of Manavola once again coming towards the line. We'll then try and pick up the 25, I believe it is, of Ugoni as Manavola goes 5th. Here comes Ugoni now to the line. He comes and stays in P10. The 444 will be next to the line. That is Claes down in 27th. Great Hungaro ring for Claes. Missed the Brands Hatch round, but he's back now for Kyalami. So he's got to now try and close that gap up to Harris as much as he can. And drop scores will be shown on the tables this week. So this is going to be the one that we need to see to keep our eyes on here. As John's saying in the comms, Bud, with you, Bud. So yeah, brilliant. Thanks, John. Love that. That'll be great to see you back in here. And Claes goes up the order. Didn't quite see where he went there. And he went up to top of the timing tower by 55 thousandths of a second. Hibbs is on an invalid lap, so we'll jump back to Cardno. Him and Harris about to come towards the line. 4 seconds separating the gold drivers. Bar Langley. Langley's the only one who's not got a lap time in the gold category at the moment, I do believe. Yep, so 16 gold drivers and 12 platinums out there for today. What a grid this is. Looking like it's shaping up to be. 3 minutes till the platinums will be out on circuit. We'll see what the platinums can do in a few moments' time. As Cardno now goes to the top of the timing tower, and Harris then pips him from pole. I jumped on the wrong driver there. So Harris back to the top in this qualifying session. We're going to jump on board with Richie Michel once again. Jimenez moves back up into 7th place. And I believe that is one of the orange Ferraris. It is. It's DeCourt who goes up now into 9th. So a good lap there from DeCourt. And now we just await for a few of the other cars to come through in the background. Langley has got a lap time on the board. He's moved up into 12th place. So Langley's finally got a lap time on the board there. The 444 of class himself. Only 85 thousandths of a second off the back of pole here in gold. So let's see what he can do if he is to... well, he's not going to improve this time around. He's hit the cheat here. He will, though. And could possibly get 2 more runs here. Could Claes. Could get this one in and should get to the line before that 10-minute window. I'll tell you another man who might get 2 more laps in is Hibbs. No, he's not. He's not going to actually ignore that. He's going to get 1 more lap in after this. As, yeah, this is going to be an interesting one to keep our eyes on throughout this night. So here comes Hibbs towards the line. We know Cardno will be the next man to it. After him, Harris has invalidated his current lap. Hibbs towards the line now. Half second off the pole position. Has he found any more time? No, stays where he is. What about Cardno? We'll turn to the 157 after, which is Jimenez. Can Cardno find that small amount of time he needs? He can, and goes pole by 500ths of a second in this one. Here is Jimenez before the 225 BMW of... I can't even see the 225 BMW, probably because I'm looking at the wrong car. It was Langley in the Ferrari. I knew it was one of the Quantum cars. Langley moves up to 8th. Jimenez is 7th. Let's go down to the 57 of Manavola. What can he get on the board? The 28 is also coming towards the line. That is Messino. So Manavola needs to find 7/10 of a second. Has he got it? No, but moves up into P4. Finds 3 more temps. Messino needs 6/10. He finds 3 of them. Goes up back into P4 himself now. And then we look to the 48 of Gillies in the Honda. Gleason now tops the timing screens for pole, and Gillies moves up into P13. The 444 of Claes now 3/10 of a second off of the pole. Can he try and move himself back forward once again and onto that front row, maybe onto the pole position? It is onto the pole position, and with 5 seconds left, gets that last lap time on the board. So the gold drivers are now finishing their last runs. The platinum drivers are okay to leave the pit lane, and I believe, looking at that time, looking at the track map, it is Patrick Leger, the first man out for the platinum drivers. But we're going to still keep our attention on the golds, and we're going to keep our attention on Harris. So I assume that Cardno and Hibbs are in the pits because they was both ahead of him. So we're going to keep our attention on to Michael Harris here at the moment. What can Harris do? Needs 3 and a bit tenths to put it onto the front row of the grid. Has he got enough to take pole position? Comes towards the line. He immediately cuts over, and I don't think he's improved there. No, he has not. The 157 is next. That is Jimenez before the 225 of Langley. Can Jimenez find anything else out of this and move up the order? No, stays P9. Langley doesn't improve. What about Chris DeCourt? Has he found anything else in this session? Moves up to 10th. Richie Michel will be the next man to the line. Does he find anything else? Stays 14th. What about Matt Wright? Nothing for him. He stays P12, so no improvements here. Stothard to the line, 2.2 off the pole, goes to 1.8. Improves, but not enough. We're going to return our attention now to Gillies. A few of the other cars was on invalid lap times. They've come into the pit lane, although Class is still on that last lap for this gold qualifying here. And this may be Class to take a pole position. Gillies moves up to P11, and that is gold done. So Class, regardless of this lap time, will be your man on pole position for the gold category, and he immediately pulls to the inside to not improve on his time as we go and find Patrick Leger. He'll be the first man to start qualifying while I input the data. So then, we just now await the first lap times coming in this in this platinum qualifying session. The 16 drivers have qualified in gold. Schmidt has done a lap time. I'm not sure how, but he's took 14 seconds off the pace. So obviously, just showing it was an outlap. And Leger, who was had some pace in the free practice session, he's now going to be the man to try and beat in this qualifying session as well. Him and Overtaker looked pretty quick, as did Mezin, to be fair, so keep your eyes on all of them. 29 drivers in the lobby, so 13 platinums out there. Patrick Leger will be the one to keep our eyes on in this race. He's had a fantastic night so far in free practice. Can he now convert that into the qualifying session? That's going to be the biggest key here for Patrick Leger as he rounds the final corner then to set his first lap time. The next car is the 111 of Comor. So where does Leger go first of all? Only up to 7th place. What about Comor in his Honda? He moves up into P9. We're going to pick up the number 11 of Mike Matthews rounding the final corner. Where will this put Mike Matthews on the list? So the driver's got that bit of time to try and get into this session here. And Mike Matthews goes into P9. The number 2 of Mezin was coming to the line as well. What is this lap time going to be? Straight up into P5 as Schmidt goes into 4th. Overtaker is coming to the line as well, rounding the final corner. We'll then next check on that of Ian McGowan if we get down to him in time. What does Overtaker do? He's gone well at the circuit before, only 9th fastest. Ian McGowan rounds the final corner. Beautiful looking livery from Ian McGowan. It's been a while since we've last seen them, so it's a bit hard to remember what they look like. But Ian McGowan up into 13th place. The 26th of Mackenzie is coming to the line. And what will Mackenzie do? And he must have invalidated his lap time. Marinich also invalidated his, as did Radic. We go back to Patrick Leger now. A second separating the top 9 team. But this is the interesting part of this qualifying session. It is all going to be about what the drivers can do as this session rolls on. 5 minutes left of qualifying in this one at the moment. Jimenez in the chat saying, new PB, I'll take that one. So good to hear from Jimenez then. As we await for Patrick Leger to finish his second flying lap of the session. What do we think to the new qualifying format? Obviously it works for the shorter circuits with how many cars we did have on the circuit from Hungaroring. Do we like this new format? Do we think it works as Leger moves up the order a little bit? Do we think the format's a pretty good one? Do we think it works quite well? And let us know your thoughts on it. I'm a fan of it. I think it's a real good one as Milliston moves up into 2nd place now. Shows how good Klaas's lap time was first time around. Gillies in the chat, couldn't hook up a lap, says Gillies. That's why he was a bit further down than he'd have liked. Mezin goes first. Benruck goes into 3rd place. The 77 of Overtaker now coming to the line. Marinich has just moved into 17th. Here comes Overtaker to the line, moves up to P7. What about that then of Ian McGowan, who's coming to the line? And that is, I don't quite know who that is behind him, to be honest. Can't quite make out the number. We'll look for the number 26, though, who's about to do a lap. McGowan stays 17th. Here comes Mackenzie, only man to not set a lap, and moves up to P11. So a good lap there from Mackenzie. Patrick Leger, we await to start his 3rd lap of the session, to finish his 3rd lap of the session. But yeah, let us know what you think of the qualifying format here. I do enjoy this new way we run the qualifying sessions. I think it just makes it a little bit more interesting, especially what we saw at Brands Hatch with that mixed conditioned weather. You don't know when you're going to be out there at the best time on the circuit. Easier today, the track is just dry throughout the whole session as Leger doesn't really find an improvement. What about Schmidt now? Towards the line he comes. What can he do? Stays P7. Milliston, can he find an improvement? Yes, he can. Moves up to second place. It's Vitas, your man on provisional pole now. So a heck of a lap from Vitas, that one. Can Ben Ruck put that to bed? Top 21 separated by a second. Here comes Ben Ruck. Improves, but stays P5 for the time being. What about Overtaker? He's got a couple of cars in front of him. Overtaker to the line. Moves up to P6 within 2/10. Here comes Radic. What can Radic do now? No improvement for him. The number 6 down the order. No, up the order. The number 6 is Vitas on provisional pole. Doesn't find an improvement. And now we turn our attention back down to Mackenzie in the Nissan. What does that Nissan have in this qualifying session? 4/10 off the pole to the line. No improvement there. We go back to Patrick Leger. Struggling to find that practice form. As Gilly says, I don't hate it. Gives all classes a bit of time in the spotlight. I'm waiting for the weather to do us a solid 1 week, though, and have all the Platt drivers have to start behind the goals. And John said, I think the yellow McLaren is Vitas. It was Vitas. And that's... I couldn't see the number. That was the problem. But now we've been on him. It 100% was Vitas. But yeah, I'm a big fan of this qualifying format. I think it works really well. I'm really intrigued to see how it will go. And again, some of them tighter circuits we go to. But at places like Brands Hatch, at Bathurst, it's not going to be as much of a problem when you've got such a busy grid. As Leger to the line, moves up to P5. Heck of a lap. What can Schmidt do? He's down to P9. 3/10 covering the top 10. Schmidt moves up to 6th place now. We go back to Ben Ruck, who is a 10.5 in 7th place off of the pole. That is ridiculously tight at the top of the grid. And class, by the way, is still P4, only a 10th off pole for the gold driver. So what an effort from him as Ben Ruck goes to the top of the timing tower, putting to bed that as it's a 10th separating the top 2 now. We turn to number 6 of Vitas. Couple of cars crossing the line at the moment. Overtaker is one of them. He stays in 8th. Vitas into the final corner. McGowan just behind him. McGowan's down in 19th. We will try and jump onto McGowan. But it may be straight to the 111 of Comar. Vitas stays where he is. McGowan stays where he is. What about Comar now then? Drivers starting their last runs in this race, in this qualifying session. The 26 of Mackenzie and this of Comar. It'll be tight for Comar, but he should get another lap in here. He's just through the cheater. 20 seconds. It might not be that tight, actually. Should do a few seconds to spare here. Chris says, go Ben. Yoshi in the chat says it. Hi, everyone. Good evening, Yoshi. And Jack McKenzie just likes boats, doesn't he? Chevy on a Tuesday, Datsun on a Thursday. If I was there, if there was a Volvo on this game, he'd probably drive that too. These are dirty times. Won't be long until we see 39s, I think. I think you're right as well at the moment. Comar does get a final lap in, and I believe Mackenzie did as well. Yes, he did. First man to finish qualifying, though, will be this man, Patrick Leger. Has he got 3.5 in the bag to put it onto provisional pole? No, he doesn't. Slight improvement. Not enough. Mezin's now gone provisional pole in this qualifying session. Has he got anything in the locker? For Schmidt, no, he doesn't. Mezin will be the next man to finish a lap time. Does Mezin have anything in the locker here to try and get that pole position? To try and hold on and extend that pole position, should I say. The 110 is behind him next. That is Marinic. We'll take a look at what Marinic will do. Can Mezin extend that pole position time? Can he touch the 39s? No improvement. Here comes Marinic. What does he do? He doesn't improve, stays P11. Mike Matthews down in 18th. What does he do? Moves up to 17th place. Overtaker finishes in 8th. And I believe that is McGowan, the next car to finish a lap time. He's just gone a little bit wide. So it's somebody with an 8 on the end, possibly Radic. It is Radic indeed, as there he appears. Can Radic find half a second? No, he cannot. So it is just now Mackenzie. 7/10 off the pole, but look at class. Sat in P5 as the gold driver. Heck of a qualifying lap. That is from the young man there. And what does Mackenzie have in store for us? Can he try and find a couple of places to break inside that top 10? The Platinum Championship leader will only start 10th. And Mackenzie crosses the line and starts, or will start, in 13th place. But as we get ready for the first and only race of the evening, we will be back in just a few moments' time as we'll go for our 10-minute break now for the start. Don't go in. Welcome back then, ladies and gentlemen, to SimPlay Motorsport as we're about to get ready for the race in just a few moments' time. I come back from making a drink and I noticed that Mezin has been disconnected. He will still get the pole position point. He has been placed to the back of the grid, but he will keep hold of that pole position point. So it's Ben Rook from Vitas, Millicent from Class with Leger Schmidt, Overtaker, then Gleason. Class is your gold pole sitter. Radic from Marinich, from Cardno, McKenzie, Harris, Messino, Mike Matthews from Manavola, Ian McGowan from Ugoni, Hibbs from Jimenez with DeCourt, Gillies, Langley, Matt Wright, Richie Michelle, Stoffard, Varga, Mezin. We also had Comore, it looks like, who had an internet problem. So hopefully everything is now sorted for them drivers. John saying graphics look good. They was made by one of our commentators. Thank you very much, Tinnis, for doing them. So Ben will start on pole position. Mezin will keep that pole for that point for pole position. He did get it. I believe there is one, Yoshi, for the Nordschleife. I'm just having a look in the file now. Well, yeah, because it's technically Nürburgring. So yeah, there is one. There will be one for Nürburgring. And we'll get that one changed over after tonight, ready for the weekend's racing. That sound don't get annoying, says Clauble in the chat. Yeah, I'll mute that sound because I forgot how repetitive the sound was. But yeah, it's going to be an interesting one. See what happens in this race. Now, Mezin's got to come from the back. So does Comore, who's starting in the pit lane. But it's a 90-minute race. So anything can happen in this race. And anything probably will happen, as we just await to see what will happen at the start with the drivers coming through on that formation lap to get this race underway. Right, we'll go quiet for a minute while we get a pole out, I think. So the poll is out for Ben, Rook, Vitas or Milliston. If you think it could be another driver, press the other section and do put in the comments in the live chat who you think will be that driver. As Sebastian Plotnik in the chat says, send Vitas. Chris is also there saying, look what Ben did at Donny in a 60-minute race. 25 places gained. It is doable. Was that Donny? I think that was Brands, wasn't it? A couple of weeks ago. Before the postponements of the races. I think it was Brands Hatch, wasn't it? Where he had such a good race to get on the podium. Either way, Ben Rook will lead them away. He's second in the championship, and his closest rival, that of Radic, is down in 9th place. But we're about to get underway here. 2 McLarens, 3 McLarens starting behind Ben. Then there's a Ferrari of Patrick Leger. Mike Matthews for the win, says Phil Atherton. That one might be a little bit optimistic from 15th on the grid, but stranger things have happened in a 90-minute race. Make sure you all hit that like button, subscribe to the channel if you are new, as we are approaching 1,200 subscribers, and hit the bell to be notified. We'll go through the sponsors midway through this race as we are about to get ready for round number 3 of the season. The one race of 90 minutes tonight, and we are green and go for Kyalami 90-minute race. What a start from Ben Rook. Already pulls across the front of Vitas into the lead. Now comes back across to defend that inside line. Patrick Leger's looking up the inside of Schmidt a little further back, down the order. Bit of a tap on the rear there from Milliston onto Ben. Ben had a bit of a wiggle, but has kept it all going. No yellow flags thus far that I'm seeing on the circuit, so everybody's through turn 1. Nice and easy, as we're a couple wide in the background. That looked like it was the Nissan of McKenzie having a bit of a scuffle there. Matt Wright, or Mike Matthews, I think that was, has had an issue. He looks pretty slow down the order as Manavola trying to get past his teammates. Further forward, coming through turn number 5. And look at the battle here between the Lexus of Michael Harris coming through into turn 6. He's got Cardno on his inside. He's looking to the outside of McKenzie. A great start to this race. Only one car who's fell towards the back. That is the 160 of... the 169, sorry, of Stothard. Comore obviously came from the pit lane, and there's a spinner. I think that was Messino who's had a moment, and he has. Caught by McGowan as well. And Ugoni was involved in the dramas. So already early mishaps at the back of the pack so far. Jimenez looking up the inside, and Mike Matthews has had a dreadful start to this race. And let's see what happens as Cherry Moore says Schmidt for the win. And now Jimenez looking up the inside of Mike, down the mine shaft. There you go. If Mike keeps it there, he'll have that inside line going into Crocodile, and he does keep it there. Hibbs is waiting in the wings as well to pounce on this fight. But further forward, Ben Rook leads from Milliston, who's under pressure from Vitas right around the outside. And Patrick Leger looks to try and follow him, although Leger couldn't get the power down at the final corner because Vitas didn't carry that momentum. Now Leger's coming under pressure from Class, your gold leader, looking for a top 4 result here. Leger defending the inside line. Vitas looking to attack around the outside of turn number 1, and Milliston can't get that done. Leger holds off for now, though, from Class, and it's Overtaker with Gleeson just behind. And Schmidt with them as well. Radic, championship leader in the platinum category, is P9. Marinich from Harris, and then McKenzie in the Nissan. Good stuff from McKenzie. And what have we got further down the order? Jimenez still pressuring the back of Mike Matthews. Ugoni did have Benny Varga on the back of him. He's got Langley's teammate there, and then not Gillies anymore. That is Mezin trying to carve his way through the field. Further down, Matt Wright, he's dead last, 2.5 seconds off the back, so not sure what has happened to Matt Wright then. That is Comor as well, looking to get past Messino, who's got a lot of front-end damage, clearly not wanting to pit at the moment, and that is Gillies attacking DeCourt with a bit of front-end damage as well. And Gillies goes up the inside of DeCourt, through he goes, and is this going to open the door now for that of Comor, who has got past Messino? You think Stothard will get past any moment, and no move there for Comor at the moment. In this race. McKenzie, though, still on the back of Harris, who is still trying to get past out of Marinich further forward. And Class has been overtaken by Overtaker now, so Overtaker makes up yet another place. And the battle for second rages on. Ben Rook got a 2.5 second lead here. And can Ben Rook do what Gary Leach did last night? Get that early lead built and just start to move on from there. Overtaker's made a mistake on the exit of the Cheetah, and that was Manavola as well going off at the Cheetah in the background. Is this going to allow the McLaren to come back at Overtaker here? Down the start straight they go. I think for now, all is going to be okay. Class looks like he is going to stay behind Overtaker. Got to watch more for Schmidt behind at the moment, who was looking to attack on the rear there. But so far, so good from everybody at the moment. No real big dramas, bar the one we saw at the S's. There's Radic on the back of Gleeson. Further down the order as well, Manavola has lost out to Cardno. Cardno now 4th in Class. And Manavola, big moment on the outside of turn 4 and into the wall head first. He is going to tumble down a lot of places here. McGowan's on the back of Jimenez. Jimenez and McGowan can't quite get through on Manavola, but he's going to have some big damage on the front of that car. As what has happened to Gillies? He's having a fight with DeCourt here. Langley's been overtaken by Mezin. Mezin actually has just got himself past Benny Varga. Langley's waiting in the wings to try and pass his teammate as well. Matt Wright has got past Messino. Messino's carrying all that damage. Stothard is under pressure at the moment. But here is DeCourt with Gillies and Comor watching on here and trying to just maybe make a couple of moves here or there. As Comor looking up the inside at the hairpin on Gillies. Moved on for Comor. He moves up yet another spot up into 25th now. So he's starting to come through the pack after being disconnected and starting at the back. McGowan has got himself past Jimenez, so he's up another place, and that is the damage to the front end of Manavola's con. Not as bad as I thought it could have been, you know. He's got away with that, I'd say, because it's nowhere near as bad as I expected. Harris all over the back of Marinich. Is he going to look to make a move? Nice little train of cars here. Benny's just starting to pull away a bit more from Milliston out front, as Vitas is looking to put the pressure on him. Patrick Leger hasn't stuck to these two at the moment. He's fell further back into the clutches of Overtaker. As Clarbel says, I hate that corner straight into the wall with a mistake, and very easy done. You just go a little bit too wide. It will unsettle that rear and spin it around. But a good train of cars developing in this race at the moment. Mackenzie's dropped off the back of Harris, but is well clear of Cardno. There's Richie Michelle with Mike Matthews gaining on him. Manavola now coming under pressure from Ian McGowan. Hibbs trying to pull away from Manavola. Hibbs will want to stay in front here. He's just going to possibly pull a bit further away. Obviously, the Mustang with the restrictor down on power anyway, and that front aero and mechanical damage is not going to help Manavola's car. We'll see if he repairs that. A couple of drivers didn't repair damage last night. What's Comore doing? Still sat behind Court at the moment. These three are pulling away from Matt Wright, though. Gap's up to 2.4 seconds. There is Matt Wright in the background as Comore now looks for a dive up the inside of the Flying Dutchman driver of Krista Court. And through goes Comore. Does Gillies try and follow him through? Down the mine shaft they come. 7 minutes into this race. Gillies up the inside. Can Court hold it around the outside of the left-hand kink to give himself the inside line in towards Crocodile. He may have just done that. Not quite. And Court will have to fight that one another day in this race. So he's now lost out 2 places. We are down a couple of places there. Ugoni's into the pits. So clearly the damage too bad for Ugoni. That's probably going to be a 2-stop for him. 1 hour 22 left to go in this race. So you'd imagine a 2-stop race for Ugoni there then. Unless the Ferrari, which is apparently the best car on fuel, as Harris was off and rejoins into the side of Marinic. Marinic manages to save the car there. So I'm not sure what had happened to Harris, but Marinic has dropped down a couple of places. And Harris moves up into P10. Marinic down to 12th as Mackenzie gets through. Mackenzie now on the back of that of Michael Harris. Radic is on the back of Gleeson. Milliston has set the fastest lap of the race. Started to bring the gap down to Ben Ruck. It's now 2.2 seconds. Long way to go in this race. But how long can the Ferrari go on 1 tank of fuel? That's what you've got to ask yourself. If Ugoni's got that much damage and he could be in there for a minute or two, I don't think the Ferrari can get an hour 20 out of its fuel. Surely not around here. Gap now down to 2 seconds out front. So Milliston's McLaren just coming into it. Ugoni's now got a drive-through penalty for speeding in the pit lane. So his race has gone from bad to worse. And Radic has gone off. So I'm not sure what has just happened to Radic here, but off he goes. He's rejoining, but that's going to be behind the Nissan of Jimenez. And a problem there for Radic. So Radic has gone off. And who's adding the wall? Is that Class? Your gold leader of Class is in the wall at the Cheetah. Has he hit the Cheetah hard, I wonder? He's in the wall and falls behind McGowan. So now Gleeson leads in gold from Harris. And I believe Tom Cardno is P3. Yes, he is. So what a shame there. 4 Class. Didn't get to see what happened. Patrick Leger within half a second of Vitas now. Bringing Overtaker with him. As the chat got disconnected and is now reconnected. So hopefully the chat is working for you all now. Radic still close to the back of Mackenzie. Marinic not a million miles away. We've got McGowan on the back of Manavola. I imagine Ugoni's going to be into the pits to to do that drive-through penalty. Mezin working his way through the field. He's up to 20th. Langley has got Comore hunting him down. He's up to 21st now, though, with Ugoni pitting. And a quarters fell behind that now of Matt Wright. Stothard yet to get through, and that is Benny Varga all over the place with Gillies right behind him. Benny Varga now, your Pro-Am champion, your silver champion of last season, fending off Gillies for the time being in the M4. Matt Wright just behind them. And Ugoni is in for that drive-through penalty on this long pit lane. He could end up a lap down to the field, but his race is not over yet. We saw what happened in the dramas last night. This is Benny Varga trying to fend off Gillies at the moment. The Sleepy Lizard Repsol racing driver looking to make his way up into 23rd place. Further forward though, McGowan on Manavola. Drive-through has been completed. He hasn't actually gone a lap. In fact, no, he has just started to go a lap down. And McGowan looks like has got past that of Manavola. That is now Class behind him, and that is Mike Matthews who is going slow. So has Mike made a mistake at the Cheetah? Is there any damage on that car? Doesn't appear to be for Mike Matthews. So may have just had a spin and got away with it. But yeah, Mike Matthews there then tumbled down the order, and now he's on the defensive from Manavola because he was very slow to rejoin. Manages to defend from the Ford Mustang. Or has he yet? Yes, he has. Manavola looking for that up and under. That'll give him the inside line for 3 and 4. Is he there? No, he's not. Tucks back in behind Mike. And Mike can just start on focusing now to get this one back going in the right direction. Gap out front down to 1.8. So Ruck coming under pressure from Milliston. Well, not coming under pressure, but being caught by Milliston. Milliston has dropped Vitas, who's been caught by Leger and Overtaker here. Schmidt a bit further behind from your gold leader Gleeson. Then it's Harris. And then McKenzie fending off Radic still at the moment. This is on board Radic's Porsche, looking behind that of McKenzie. And this is what you're able to see, what the driver will be able to see. More on the left-hand side as McKenzie goes a little bit wide there. Radic may not need a second invitation. Godzilla, though, of the Nissan should be able to stay in front with its top speed, and indeed it does. And McKenzie there stays ahead of Radic. Remember to join us on Saturday for the Endurance Championship, round number 2 for 6 hours of the Nordschleife coming your way on Saturday afternoon. We'll drop down the order just for a moment. What is happening between McGowan, Matthews, Manavola? Mezin has got past class now, so Mezin up to 18th place. Good bit of a race for him so far. Matt Wright still pressuring the back of Gillies, who's lost a bit of time to that of Benny Varga. Langley looks like he's trying to hang on in there over Comore at the moment. As Chris says, Ben was going to save tyres but realised how quick Milliston is. So not a clue. Can't wait for Saturday in the Ocean. It's going to be an interesting race as Comore goes up the inside of Langley. Langley's a clever driver. Won't fight a battle too hard that he knows he's not going to win. De Court now is on the back of Matt Wright. Gillies has actually lost out to Matt Wright now and to De Court. Zugoni is back in the pits again. So we'll see what happens there. Mezin gaining on McKenzie, who's still with, who's lost a bit of time to Mike Matthews actually. Mike sticking with McGowan. Out front, Overtaker gaining on Leger. Leger's lost time to Vitas. Ben's opened that gap back up, so clearly the saving tyres for Ben isn't what he wants to do. He wants to get on with it and open the gap back up. Milliston fastest driver on the circuit. Let's drop that down to McKenzie because Radic was on the back of him. He's not no more. McKenzie, though, who's that in front? That is Cordno. So what has happened to McKenzie? Because him and Radic have dropped behind Marinic and Cordno in this race as McKenzie looks back up the inside of Tom Cordno. And is he going to get that move done? No, he doesn't. He'll probably be better off waiting for after the cheat and maybe onto the start straight where that Nissan can use its straight line speed. You see the damage on the left-hand side of his car. Have him and Radic coming together somewhere. Ugoni's still in the pit lane then. Going further forward. McKenzie. Is he going to be able to use that top speed of the Nissan to get alongside Thomas Cordno here then? Let's wait and see. Pulls out now. Has a look. Can he get it stopped on that inside line? Great little move from McKenzie. A Porsche not close enough to follow him through. Has a bit of a look though there. Did Radic. Can't do it though. And they stay as they were. Milliston's brought the gap back down to 2 seconds. It's 3 attempts between Overtaker and Leger. We'll cut to that one just briefly. Overtaker not got through at the moment. Back to Tom Cordno and Radic. Can Radic do anything through this long right-hand bend at the moment? Not so far. 15 minutes gone in this race, and what a start to the race it has been. Now look at this queue behind Richie Michelle. You've got Hibbs, McGowan, Mike, Manavola, Mezin, Class, all within a second of each other. Comore's now on the back of Jimenez, so Comore's going to try and get closer to him. Benny Varga's now got Matt Wright and Chris Court and Gillies all with him. Stoffard and Messino not close enough. Has Ugoni thought now is the time to do his stop and get out, but he's going to go 2 laps down. In fact, he's already 3 laps down, it says. So he's going to go another lap down. And look at Gillies here. He's got the run coming up the hill to the outside, though, of De Court. Can't make it through there. Going to try and tuck underneath. No, he's not. Can't get it done. Back to Overtaker. What is he doing with Patrick Leger? He's in that slipstream, is Overtaker. And is this where Patrick Leger is going to have to go defensive over the one-time champion here at SimPlay Motorsport, back in the Pro Series on the Project Cars 2 days. Won the last ever Project Cars 2 championship, did Overtaker. Leger yet to win a title. And Overtaker inside for turn 2. That's going to put Leger on the inside for turn 3. Just mounts that sausage curb a little bit. And Leger will stay ahead. This is bringing Schmidt into play here. This is great racing. This is looking on board this of Overtaker now. Just looking at closing in on that Ferrari. And a great bit of racing between the 3 of them at the moment. Schmidt now come to play in the party as well. As Overtaker looks to the outside of turn number 5. He's going to try and stay there for turn 6. No, he can't. And Schmidt now might actually be up the inside of Overtaker coming through the S's. Through the first port. Schmidt's now on the outside for the second one. And Gleeson, the gold leader, isn't a million miles away in this race either at the moment. Gleeson's doing a fantastic job so far. And Schmidt having a look up the inside. Overtaker goes a little deep to give him the room. Schmidt wasn't actually alongside it, turning on the corner. And Schmidt may have just got alongside the Ford Mustang. Dropping down the mine shaft they go now. Has that Honda got the legs over the Ford Mustang to stay ahead? So far to the outside of the Crocodile will go Schmidt. Looking right around the outside. Overtaker manages to stay in front. And they go back to single file for the cheater. As we say good evening to Swindle Mac. Great to see you back in once again, bud. But what a race this is out front at the moment. This is all for 4th place in this race. And a great start to it. What a battle between these lot. We'll drop back down to Hibbs for a moment. He's close to Richie Michelle with McGowan close to him. In the background as well, Manavola, Class and Mezzin all pretty close together. 0.3 of a second. Look at this train as well. There is trains all over the place as Matt Wright has a look and tucks back in behind. He's obviously not brave enough to make a move at the cheater there. He's Matt Wright in this one. And who could blame him, to be fair to you? It's further forward once again. Class still on Mezzin. Mike Matthews. Sorry, I thought McGowan was looking on Hibbs, but he's not. Back to Schmidt and Overtaker then. This fight rages on as Hypertex has amazing racing there. It's been great racing throughout all these packs tonight. What a fair bit of fair racing this is. Absolutely clean as a whistle. And Overtaker and Schmidt really going at it. Just allowing Leger to just pull away a little bit here then. We'll keep our eyes on that gap further down. Let's go back to Class because he's got Mezzin within a 10th. And Mike Matthews right on the back of Mezzin. Mezzin looks like he's got a bit of damage on the front of that BMW. So coming from the back of the packs, just carrying a bit of damage. Is Ugoni out the pits? No, Ugoni is retired from this race. So what a shame for him. Great train in front as well behind Cardno with Michelle, Hibbs and McGowan. This is then another 4-way train. We've got another 4-way train down the order. Langley gaining on Jimenez. Not a lot happening there. Let's just go to Langley and Jimenez coming down the mine shaft. And we'll drop back to Gillies, DeCourt, Wright and Varga. Langley not close enough. Here we go though. Here's Matt Wright on the inside line of Benny Varga. It'll be the outside for Crocodile. Side by side go the two BMW drivers at the moment. Into Crocodile they go. Is Gillies having a look? No, he's not. Right, he tries right around the outside of Benny Varga. That is a brilliant move. It looked like DeCourt was about to get on the rear of Gillies. Couldn't do so. And Matt Wright round the outside of Crocodile. Fantastic work from him. He moves up into P23. Further forward again though, Mezzin and Mike attacking the back of Class once more here. Radic has got past McKenzie. And if we go back to Leger and Overtaker, Schmidt and Gleeson, they are still pretty much together. A little bit more spread out there. Mezzin being attacked by Mike, trying to gain on the back of Class. That is the view in front. Messino into the pits with an hour 10 left. And that is where Mike is in the background. Great bit of racing here at Kyalami this evening. What a drive this is for some of these drivers. Messino now into the pit lane then, so that gives everybody else an extra position. Chris saying very good racing in the chat. Indeed, it has been. So Messino into the pits. Is that to maybe repair the damage that he did have on the car? Now Mezzin has a look at the inside of Class. Coming in towards a hairpin. Class gives him the room on the inside. Mezzin can't get the job done. Class stays in front. Mike maybe having a look here on the exit. And I think Mike has got the run. Mezzin just had a bit of a wiggle coming out of the hairpin corner. And Mike's got a bit of a run on Mezzin here to the outside line though of Crocodile. Mike breaks a little earlier and stays behind Mezzin for the time being. Further forward, Hibbs trying to attack Richie Michelle. And then has got McGowan attacking the back of him. So a great spell of racing here at Kyalami. Very cloudy day here. 26 degrees track temp, 22 ambient. And what's happening further forward? Overtaker has lost out to Leger by quite the margin. Milliston 1.9 off the back of Ben, but there's Schmidt, there's Gleeson. As Messino out the pits, has done his pit stop then. And I believe he's now a lap down in this race. Is Matt Wright a lap down? No, he's not a lap down, but yeah, Messino must have had some bad damage He has gone a lap down. Cherry Moore, sorry, saying, I don't know where to look. What an overtake. Indeed, it was an overtake. That's referring, I think, back to the Matt Wright one. Back to McGowan and Hibbs then. Because McGowan's getting closer. In fact, what's that happening in the background? I thought Mesin was having a look there, but it wasn't to be. Class having a look on Manavola, who's got that damage on the front of his car. So his car can't be performing at its peak performance here. So you have to wonder when Manavola may bring this into the pits. Messino's just done 20 minutes of the race, pitted with an hour 10. It was a long stop though, because he's gone a lap down. And I believe it is just the one lap. Yes, it is. So he can still try and come back in this race, can Messino. Points will be scored till the very end. That's the most important thing. Always finish. You don't want to carry a qualifying ban over to Watkins Glen next week. Difficult to overtake at the Glen. Milliston 1.7 to Ben Rook. Not seen anything of the front three tonight. So that's what Ben looks like. That's what Milliston looks like. And that is what Vitas looks like. Because the drama is all behind them. Overtaker's back within a second of Leger. Schmidt within 6/10 of Overtaker. Gleeson within 8/10 of Schmidt. Further down then you've got McGowan on the back of Hibbs. As Chris saying, when you're doing the commentary for F1, Matt, you'd make it much more interesting. I mean, send them an email, Chris, for either BBC Radio or Sky Sports F1. Send them an email on my behalf. I'd love nothing more than to be travelling the world doing the Formula 1. I'd rather, actually, no, I would. I'd rather be commentating on the touring cars than the F1. But, you know, the F1 pays great. Let's get into the F1. I'm sure if you forward an email, a man of your power in this world, you'll be able to persuade a few people at Sky Sports. Mesin has got ahead of Class, and now Comore's on the back of this train. So Class now trying to fend off Mike Matthews. He had that spin at the cheetah. In fact, they both had a spin at the cheetah, did Class and Mike. Both didn't hit the wall though, managed to keep it out the wall, and Comore has come to play. Look at Mesin though, all over the back of Manavola at the moment, and these five now still going at it. Real good fight there between these five. I'd love nothing more than to do the touring cars. Again, send an email to Alan Gow and ITV and get me on the commentary for that. I'd love nothing more. As here comes Mesin to have a look on the outside line of Manavola. Can't do it there though. Stays stuck behind. That just brings Class back into play over Mesin a little bit, but he went wide at the exit of Crocodile there. That just opened Mike's eyes a little bit, but Mike's not silly enough to make a move at the cheetah, and he went a little wide at the cheetah on exit, did Mike Matthews. Now under pressure, Comore slings one underneath. Through goes Comore. Here goes Mesin though, side by side with Manavola. Both cars with damage. Class looking to get into the slipstream of the pair of them and try and maybe follow one through at turn one. What a race this has been. And Mesin looking up the inside of Manavola, and through he goes. Just forcing Manavola out wide. Does that open up the door for Class? Not quite there. And Class will have to sit and wait yet again. McGowan was fighting hard with Hibbs. Richie Michelle just pulling away a little bit. Back out front. Gaps down to 1.8. Overtaker cannot get closer to Leger than 7/10. He's pulled away from Schmidt though. And Schmidt's got Gleeson for company. But Ian McGowan getting or staying around that same same sort of distance to Hibbs. Comore has quickly got past Manavola. So that shows how quick he can get through. And Manavola there. And Mike Matthews was side by side almost. Chris saying he wish he had that much power. Hey, you brought us a fantastic brand new sponsor. So exactly, speak with Robo. See what he can do. Tell him to get me on. Tell him you know a guy who's brilliant. British touring cars. As Mike Matthews looking up the inside. Comore's made a mistake. He's lost the rear of the car. And now Mike had a bit of a look on Manavola. Manavola wide onto the grass. I don't think there was any contact between the three of them. Manavola may have actually hit Comore. He is struggling out there and indicates to the right-hand side he has got a problem. Did he maybe tap the rear of Comore? But Mike gains 2 places in 2 corners. And through he goes down the order. Langley gaining on Jimenez. That is Messino just behind, who is a lap down in this race at the moment. Further forward though, Overtaker's pulled a second over Schmidt. And Milliston, if we remember what him and Ben Rook look like, has got the gap down to 1.5 seconds at the moment. Ben Ruck, crucially, is well ahead of Radic in this points championship at the moment. So that could be crucial come the end of the night. And remember, the results I read out at the end of the night, the championship standings I read out, are all provisional. And keep your eyes on our social media, Instagram and Facebook pages for the final tables being released, which will be next week after all the stewarding has been dealt with over the weekend and we've been able to get the tables made up. When they are posted on our social media pages or on our Discord pages, when you see the tables posted, that is the final championship standing after the week of racing. So keep your eyes out for that. Back down to overtake, though, who's lost out a bit of time to Leger. Schmidt's now back within 8/10. Further down the order, Ian McGowan still within 6/10 of Hibbs. There's an anchor there saying superb racing. Indeed it is. Yoshi saying, honestly, I think you could take over comms from either David Addison or Tim Harvey. Oh, thank you very much, Yoshi. Appreciate that one. Further down to Comore, once again, who's lost out massively to Mike. Can Mike now get back onto the rear of class? Mezin's going to be charging. 2.1 off the back of McGowan. And while McGowan's stuck behind Hibbs here, this is just going to allow McGowan the opportunity, Mezin the opportunity to just get closer to McGowan without having to push too hard. The more these two start to fight, the more it will naturally come to Mezin in this race. Remember, Mezin was on pole position, had the server disconnect that put him to the back of the grid for the race, unfortunately. So we will see what happens here. This is your closest fight on circuit as McGowan look for a late pull-out lunge there. Oh, it might not be anymore because Ben Ruck has got Milliston within a second of him now. Let's take a look at fuel loads out there. Some interesting fuel loads seen in the tank. Pretty similar, actually. Ball one driver there. I'm not going to name names to give strategy away. Messino's pitted, so he's well out of sync with the others. And Ugoni is no longer in the session. Yeah, everybody running a similar kind of fuel level. Ball one or two drivers who look like they could be extending. But Milliston now, you know, within 7/10 of a second. What was the last lap times for Milliston and Ben Ruck? Ben did a 41.655, Milliston a 41.360. And Milliston has just got a little bit closer as this lap has gone on as well. McGowan's lost out massively to Hibbs. That gap is 1.3 seconds. And he's now got Mezin for company. So interesting to see there what has happened to McGowan. But let's go back to the race leaders. Mezin trying to work his way through. Milliston not close enough at the moment. Right, back down to McGowan and Mezin. Mezin got even closer. Mr. Titan, Tanner Kneebone, saying someone tell Langers if he gets top 20, he gets a donut from Jupiter Donuts. Don't know what Jupiter Donuts is, but I assume it's a donut place in America, and it sounds delicious. And yeah. Mezin then onto the back of Ian McGowan. We'll see this into turn one, and we'll jump back to the leaders because that is half a second, although it doesn't look half a second to the naked eye now. Schmidt gaining with on overtaker as well. Keep your eyes on that Mezin McGowan battle. When we get to halfway through the race, we'll do our sponsors shout out once again, as always. But an interesting race at the moment so far. Right then. Milliston, drive-through penalty, track limits for Milliston has picked himself up a drive-through penalty. He was gaining on Ben Ruck. Sorry, was just reading a message on my phone there a moment. And Milliston has picked himself up a drive-through penalty then. So Ben Ruck has been let off the hook, and that is disaster for Milliston. Overtaker coming under the pressure of Schmidt and Gleeson. Radic putting Marinich under pressure. And Mezin has got ahead of Ian McGowan. He's now gained already half a second onto the back of Hibbs, who's out with a stop-go 30 for De Court. So De Court's got a stop-go 30 as well. And Hibbs just lets Mezin go. He's not fighting him in this race. And doesn't want to lose any more time fighting a driver that is quicker than him. What will Hibbs do, though, over Ian McGowan? He looks like he's got similar pace to McGowan, because McGowan hasn't got past him at all. So I wonder if that was a bit of strategy from Hibbs there. Knows Mezin is flying in this race, and doesn't feel like he can race Mezin. So he's let him go as to not ruin his own race, but will now try and keep McGowan at bay. He feels comfortable that he's got similar pace too. But a drive-through for Milliston in this one. That is heartbreaking for the man who was gaining on Ben Rook. Let's go down to Marinic and that of Radic just behind him. Championship leader in the Platinum class for Radic. Will want to close that gap up to Ben. And with Milliston's drive-through penalty that he hasn't served yet, and he's only got one lap to serve it, so he got it at the final corner, which counts as a lap. So that is why he's only got one lap to serve. So Milliston has to serve it next lap before facing even harsher penalty. But Milliston there then. What a shame for him. Overtaker's back on Leger. Oh, a little bit wide from Marinic. That could allow Radic to have a look, but it doesn't. So they managed to stay as they were. Radic, though, pulls out, has a look up into turn 4. Great little move from Radic, that one. And as he managed to keep it in front, it looked like he had a bit of a moment coming out of turn 4. I think he is still ahead. Well, no, he isn't, because Marinic is side by side and gets back in front. So Radic just had a squirrely moment. And he comes back in front, does Marinic, of the Porsche driver. What's happening with Overtaker and Leger and Schmidt? Schmidt right there. Gleason's having a cracking race as the bronze leader at the moment, by the way. We're under an hour to go, so if you pit from this point on, you should get to the end of this race. What a change of events here at Kyalami then. Overtaker and Schmidt looking racy. Radic and Marinic still going at it. Mezin is already within a second of Richie Michel. McGowan still cannot get past Hibbs. Stop go cleared for De Court. Milliston into the pits. So here we go then. Through goes Vitas. Through will go Leger, Overtaker, Schmidt and Gleason. What about Michael Harris? Will Harris get Milliston? I'll send some to you, Duffin. They have donuts the size of on my head. They have donut size on my head, and they're amazing. They don't oversugar them. Yeah, send them over. They may be no good by the time they get here, but send them over. Send us some Gatorade as well, please. As Michael Harris to the outside of Milliston. Milliston gets in front of him there then, and Radic in the background up the inside of Marinic. Goes a little deep. That could open the door for Marinic to come back at him at turn 4 then. So here comes the BMW on that inside for 3. No, he's not. Thinks better of it. And Radic gets through up into P9 for Radic now. Milliston with fastest lap drops to 7th place. He's got to do all the hard work yet again. Richie Michel has been overtaken by Mezin. So Mezin is on a charge from the back of the field. Already running inside the top 15. He's in the top 13 now. Chris saying still a long way to go. Will fatigue come into this race towards the end? That's going to be the biggest question. Will fatigue come into this towards the end? That will 100% be the question on everybody's faces. Obviously used to doing the hour-long race. How will they be after the hour and a half? Leger, 7/10 clear of Overtaker, 4/10 clear of Schmidt, who's 6/10 clear of Gleason. And Gleason is 5.6 clear of Milliston. But you imagine with Milliston's pace in this race, he could be on this train within a couple of laps at this rate. Keep your eyes on Mezin though as well. He's 4 seconds off of Cardno at the last sector time. So that was through sector 1. Coming through sector 2, it's 3.8. So keep your eyes on Mezin for catching on to Cardno pretty quickly. Cardno running on the podium in gold. And these 4 have been like this for absolutely ages. Overtaker thought of having a look on Leger there. Couldn't do anything about it. That's put Vitas up to second. Good stuff from Vitas, keeping it good. He's looked really good in Platinum this year. Won the gold last season. And has just upped his game even more in Platinum this time around. And looks really good value for his money. That gives Ben Rook a 5.9 second lead. That is the situation for what is now the podium of third place. Milliston was just over 5 seconds behind them. What is he now when he comes through sector 1? It's 5.5 still. Cardno was 3.5 to Mezin, so he lost half a second in 2 sectors. And there you see Mezin in the background of Cardno. Coming forward a little bit more and more, 3.2, so another 3 tenths that Mezin has taken out of it. McGowan has lost out once again. He's got class catching him. Mike sticking to the back of Comore at the moment for 19th place. Still got all 28 runners. We've lost Ugoni because we did have 29. Milliston 5.5. Schmidt, though, having a look down through the mine shaft. Look at how big that Ford Mustang is. You can barely see the road in front of you. Is Schmidt going to pull to the inside line? Thinks about it. Overtaker brakes later. Runs a little bit deep. This is going to give Schmidt the run out the corner. They're side by side. Nearly contact made. Schmidt's still there. Backs out of it, though, going into the cheetah. What a shame. Swindlemack, Kyalami definitely keeps you busy for most of the lap. Great track indeed it is. An overtaker made a mistake. Just I looked away to read the chat. Overtaker has made a mistake. He's coming to the pit lane. I'm going to wait to see that one on the broadcast screen next to me. But what a mistake that was from Overtaker. Let's take a look at it as we just get to it on the stream. Did he hit the cheetah? No, just went a little bit too wide onto the gravel and bang into the wall. Oh, big damage. The bonnet really popped up, and that could really ruin Overtaker's race here. As he's tumbling down the order now. Mezin's into 12th. He's only 2.3 off the back of Cardno. Now Schmidt is free to attack the back of Patrick Leger. Hard hit there for Overtaker. And everybody comes flooding past him. Jimenez goes through. Matt Wright will go through. Gillies will go through. DeCourt's back into the pits. Messino, who has just now unlapped himself from Overtaker. DeCourt hopefully will come back out onto the circuit. But Messino, this is why you keep going in these races. It was big indeed, Yoshi. Messino now could fancy his chances to be closer to Overtaker after he's been in for damages as well. Further forward, Hibbs is now got a little bit closer to Richie Michelle, and Class is gaining on the back of McGowan here. So another four-way train starting to develop. Comore's only 2.7 behind, with Mike 1.4 behind him. Mezin to Cardno, down to 1.9 seconds. Now it's 1.6, so these two are absolutely on a charge at the minute. Is Mezin flying in this race. Milliston's back up to 6th. An Overtaker who was fighting for that podium spot. He's had a good start to his season as Overtaker as well. But a mistake there. He's still in that pit lane. Where is Messino? Coming into Crocodile now. I assume Overtaker will be going to the end in this race. So expect to see Overtaker go green. I'm assuming he's going to go to the very end of this one. Still in his pit box though. So that will allow Messino to come through and take P26. So Overtaker down a lap now as well. It says 2 laps, but I'm sure it is only the one. That might actually be... No, it is just the 1 lap. It is the 1 lap, ignore me. It says Gillies is down a lap. Overtaker's just came out the pit lane and has been lapped by what looks to be Matt Wright. Indeed it is. Gillies has just crossed the line. Benny Varga further back, and then Stothard as well. So yeah, what a shame there. McGowan gaining on the back of Hibbs again. Hibbs is still within a second of Richie Michelle. Where's Mezin's progress? A second now to him and Cardno. As Leger has pulled a second out over Schmidt, so he's pulled that gap clear of Schmidt. Schmidt not been able to go with him. And Mezin just starting to gain on Thomas Cardno here. As we enter the 1 hour, the halfway stage of the race, sorry, and that's who's that with the drive-through. That is DeCourt for speeding in the pit lane, drive-through penalty for him. So his night goes from bad to worse. What's happening between McGowan, who's in a greasy sandwich at the moment, The Greasy Bandits racing drivers sandwiching Ian McGowan. And he's just not had the pace to get past Hibbs in this one so far. Hibbs has been matching his pace. McGowan's got close and then drops back, but he's got to start to think of getting a move on. Marinich and Mezin into the pits they come. Just before the halfway stage. So does Mike Matthews now then. So drivers starting to pull the trigger on pit stops. McGowan thinks of a late pullout. Looks up the inside on Hibbs. Hibbs gives him a wide berth. And through goes Ian McGowan. Hibbs didn't fight that one too hard. I don't think he knew McGowan was going to come out till late. So 3 drivers into the pit lane. That should have allowed Messino to get back onto the lead lap of them. It does indeed. It'll be interesting to see if he can get to the end in this race. He pitted with about an hour 10 to go. But now Hibbs has got his teammate of class, who was running away with this gold lead at the early stages of this race, but made that one mistake at the cheetah. That put him off. That put him off the circuit. Chris is saying, how are we feeling about the F1 this weekend and the problems with the new cars, especially the Aston Martin? I'm not optimistic that it's going to be any good. I think they're all struggling to get off the line. I think the new start procedure is garbage. It should be just, you know, we've got to wait for them to get revs up certain amount and stuff. The Aston Martin could probably end Fernando Alonso's career with an injury bad enough, because apparently it could do nerve damage or something with the vibrations and stuff from what I was reading earlier. So I'm not looking forward to it as Schmidt and Radic come into the pits, but we'll see what happens. It could be a great race with the new regulations. We'll see. Either way though, Schmidt and Radic pit. So where will they come out? And that is Hibbs also calling it into the pit lane then. So Hibbs deciding to box. So it's Ben Rupp from Vitas, from Leger, your top 3. Before anybody pitted as well, that was the top 3. Gleeson is your leader in gold from Harris, with Cardno in 3rd as well. And that is before gold drivers have pitted. Marinich has come out 21st, Mezin 23rd. And Benny Varga is closer to Marinich. So Mezin's got a good bit of gap to Benny Varga, 7 seconds. So we'll hope that in that time, Benny Varga jumps into the pits out of his way. And this is what Mezin's trying now. He's gone for that undercut. Schmidt's already out the pits. So he has gone on his way. Gillies hasn't even got past him yet. Gillies yet to stop. So Mezin will be hoping that Benny pits before he catches him. Benny has stayed out this time around. Stothard wide in the background. Might come out 25th. And there's Messino. De Court has retired from this race. We are another driver down in this one, sadly. And De Court was 3rd in the Gold Championship as well. That's going to cost him some points, but obviously drop scores will count this week. Yoshi saying, to be fair, I'm so excited for all the sessions this weekend for F1. For Aston Martin, I think they're going to be cooked for today for free practice, but can't really say much until qualifying and the race. I still don't think you're going to see anybody's true pace until the race, to be honest with you, because I think it's all just going to be a mess until then. I think they're still going to be trying to get everything right. Rook, Vitas Milliston into the pit lanes. Patrick Leger takes the lead of this race. McGowan now gaining onto the back of the rear of Richie Michelle. Chris is saying, I'm hoping Aston Martin are playing games and the car is amazing, but I think that is a big ask. Yeah, I think so as well. McGowan into the pits, so decides to bring that one in early, as does Comore then. So Mike was just behind Comore. We'll see where Mike Matthews comes out. Well, there's Hibbs, there's Mike. 13 seconds is that gap between them two. And where is Schmidt in relation then to that of... oh no, Gleeson didn't pit, who was the car behind him. And Schmidt coming through now. Rook is out the pit lane, so Rook carries on his way. Manavola takes up to P9. Vitas out the pits. Milliston leaves the pit lane, who's the man in 2nd place, or leaves his pit box, who's the man in 2nd place. And Schmidt gets back through on Milliston then. What about Marinich, who was fighting that of Milliston? And Milliston is out off his limiter, and away he goes. He's just dropped behind that of Gillies for the time being. Where's Mezin? 6.5 off the back of Radic. So Varga pitted as well. So that's allowed Mezin to just have a clear road in front of him up to Radic now. Mezin was catching, I believe, he was catching Richie Michelle before he pitted. Over the halfway stage now, though. And Gleeson decides it's his turn to come into the box. Leger going a little bit longer. So 46 minutes have gone in this race. And Leger going that little bit longer. Langley close to the back of his long-term rival of Vitas in this race. Vitas there looking like he's warming the tyres up. It's possible the tyres just taking a while to get up to temperature here. Jimenez has got Mike Wright closed him down. Jimenez has lost out to Langley somewhere because Langley was ahead. That's Overtaker behind the pair of them trying to unlap himself, which you're entitled to do. You're allowed to unlap yourself, provided you do pull away and you don't hold up the driver who you've just unlapped yourself from. Jimenez just kicked up the gravel a little bit there, and I think that's a sensible option from Matt Wright. Overtaker clearly wants to try and get back onto the lead lap of drivers here with a chance to race them at the end. So I think that's sensible from Matt Wright there to let Overtaker go. Comore gaining on the back of Hibbs. So this is as it was before the pit stops happened. Where is Class? I don't think he's pitted yet, has he? No, he's further up the order. He's up into third, not yet pitted. Rook's running fourth after his pit stop. Vitas is sixth, gaining on Manavola, but hasn't yet pitted. Gleeson isn't ahead of Schmidt, no apologies. Harris, though, has lost out to Milliston and is just ahead, only just ahead of Radic. So Harris loses out one place, and he's got Radic right behind him, who looks underneath on the exit of turn 4. Harris went a little bit wide there. Look round the outside is Radic, can't get it done. Alexis just being able to stay in front for the time being. Radic now to the outside of turn 6, sorry. There's Benny in the chat. G'day to my fave comms box crew. How are we doing, Mr. Duffin and co? Just Mr. Duffin here tonight, buddy, but great to see you, Benny. Hope you're doing well, mate. Not seen you in a while. Hope all is good. Yeah, doing very well. We've had a 2-week hiatus because my electric in the house decided to blow up. Not literally blow up, but it decided to trip. Nobody could find a problem, so we've had a whole rewire in the house. So we've had no racing for 2 weeks. But it's great to see you, Benny, in the chat. Hope you're doing well, Benny Archer. As Class and Manavola now come into the pit lane. Leger and McKenzie going for the longer strategies here. Nearly 50 minutes through this race. And how far are they looking up the road before they decide to come into the pits? How far is Ben behind McKenzie? Let me have a look at the pit stop times here. 2 seconds. So for a tyre swap, you're looking 53 seconds. If you don't take tyres, 48. And a drive-through will cost you 18 seconds. So, yeah, Leger now comes into the pits. He's 19 seconds clear of McKenzie. Is this McKenzie going to box this lap? Oh, he stays out on his way, so he's carrying on going. Ben's just coming down the mine shaft. Leger is stationary. So has Leger been able to jump Vitas? Because where's Vitas? Further 6 seconds behind. There he is. What else is happening out there, though? Milliston has just got himself ahead of Gillies. Radic still stuck behind Michael Harris. We've got Hibbs and Comore duking it out. They've all jumped Richie Michelle as well, by the way. Cordno has lost out to Hibbs, Class, and Richie Michelle. So Cordno with a dreadful stop there. Unless they didn't take tyres, and he has. Stothard gaining on Messino. So where now is Vitas? Langley's in the pits. Leger's on his way out the pit lane. Has Leger stayed ahead of Smith? I'm going to assume so. There's Overtaker unlapping himself from Patrick Leger, who's now running 3rd place. And yes, he stays ahead of Vitas. Jimenez up to 5th, going longer. Langley and Gillies now into the pit lane. Let's go back to that Radic-Harris fight. Harris should just pull away here. Let's go back down to Hibbs, Class and Comore. Is Benny saying that's the way we like it, mate? Oh dear, yeah, that's terrible. At least you're back though, buddy. Been a very long time. I may eventually jump in a season again soon if my PS decides to stay cool enough. Yeah, well, hopefully so, buddy. It'd be great to see you back out there on the circuit. Chris saying, horrid, mate. We went 4 days with no heating or hot water waiting for a new boiler when ours blew a couple of weeks ago. At least we had family close by to shower the smelly teenager Ben. We had heating, and we had the electrician, when he tried to find the problem, put one plug-in that we could use that run the telly, the Virgin TV box and the internet, and the upstairs lights worked and the boiler worked. That is all we had. We couldn't plug a fridge in, couldn't plug the PC in. The PlayStation worked. We managed to get the PlayStation to work with it, but like microwave, cooker, kettle, toaster, fridge, freezer, none of that worked. None of the downstairs lighting worked. And then when they started the job, we had to be out the house, so we ended up staying at our friend's house who had us for the week, which was nice of them. And yeah, so it was a stressful time. But yeah, I wouldn't wish that on anybody, to be fair. And no heat in 4 days. You've got to wash that smelly teenager, Ben. Speaking of leaders, the 26, that is Mackenzie, is stopped at turn 1. And is that in the middle of the road? No, it's off the line, but he's stationary. So what has happened to Mackenzie there then? Was leading this race, going longer. What has happened to Mackenzie? He's not moving in that car. What a shame for him. He was going so well in the Nissan. And it's now just gone all horribly wrong. Still stationary on the circuit. Hopefully it's not a wheel issue for him. But I'm keeping my eyes out in the Discord to see if I can see anything. Fuel, says Yoshi. Oh, good shout. What did he cross the line with? Where is Mackenzie? No, after his last lap it said he had 24 litres, so it can't be fuel. It is the Nissan of Mackenzie that is still stationary at turn 1. Nothing in the Discord yet as to what the problem may be for the Nissan. But that has tumbled him right down the order. That is going to put him so out of contention in this race. He had great pace as well. Overtakers gained on Stothard. This is for position of 26th and 27th. And they both may get another one here, as may Messina, who's had a nightmare of a race, because Mackenzie is still stationary and they're on the same lap as him. In fact, Ben Rook, who's back in the lead now, is about to lap that of Mackenzie. No, they fully run out of fuel. If you run out of fuel, it comes to just a stop. He's back going. He's back going. So he's not going to quite lose out to these guys, but he will after the pit stops. Not sure what happened there to Mackenzie. But what a shame as Comore's on the back of Hibbs once again. So Rook leads 6.5 seconds clear from Vitas, who's 5.2 clear from Leger. Schmidt 1.2 behind Leger. Then Gleeson, Milliston, because they've jumped him, and Marinich jumped Harris in the pits. Then it's Harris, Radic, Mezin rounds out the top 10. Mezin's come back to 10th from the back of the grid at the start of the race. Chris said Ben did it at Brands Hatch. Mezin is doing it here today, and that could be the shout for Platinum Driver of the Day. As good as Ben and Vitas have been, from 29th it was at the start all the way to 10th. Heck of a drive that, and I don't think he's done, because he's only 4.8 off the back of Radic, who is attacking the rear of Michael Harris at the moment. Coming through that of turn number 5. And there is Mezin, look. Can you just see him in the background? Yeah, you did. You just caught a glimpse of him. Back to Hibbs and Comore. It is a cruel mistress. It is such a cruel mistress, racing online is. What a shame for him. He was going so well in the Nissan as well. You have to feel for him. Still a long way to go, though. Still 35 minutes left in this race. In what has been a brilliant 90-minute race, it must be said. Absolutely fantastic. Manavola did not repair his damage in the pits, and Langley is looking for 18th place at the moment. He's got Matt Wright, his former teammate, on the back of him. So this could be a juicy little battle. Overtaker has passed Stothard. And Mackenzie is 3.9 clear of Messino. He will drop to last after his pit stop. What a shame for the Nissan driver. I wonder if it was some form of technical issue for the young man. Schmidt within 6/10 now of Patrick Leger. Harris has still got Radic right there. Hibbs has still got Comore behind him. What's the gap, Mezin to Radic? 4.7. Keep your eyes on that gap of Mezin to Radic. A little further down, there's Langley, Manavola and Matt Wright. And then there is Mackenzie. What a shame for him. And don't forget, if you do like what you see here, hit that thumbs up button, the bell to be notified when we go live, and the subscribe button if you are new, as well as check out our fantastic sponsors. Design Manchester, who are producers of vinyl graphics, laser engraved gifts, mugs, printed clothing and much more, including SimPlay Motorsport merchandise. Head over to their Facebook page. And also our pro sponsor for the season, Big Apple Logistics, who specialise in moving plant and heavy machinery globally. Go and check them out on Facebook as well. Thank you as well to Big Apple and Design Manchester for their support for the season. Ben was angry. I explained to him it's like having a major fault and a repair required. So you'd start from the pits in real life racing. That's it. That's what it is. That's what we have to take into consideration here. A disconnection, you know, PC issue, a console issue, a wheel issue is just like having an engine failure, a mechanical failure. You know, it just cannot be helped in the real world. There's Langley getting closer to Mackenzie then, to Manavola. Comore still getting closer to Hibbs. Radic gaining on... no, he's not just yet. Let's go on board with the Porsche, by the way, and look at this Lexus take off down the start straight. Just pulls away. Look. That's why Radic can't get past Harris at the moment. 4.4 Mezin's gaps stayed the same. Schmidt gaining still on Leger. And Overtaker's ahead of Leger to be lapped in this race, and that's a shame for Overtaker because he was in this pack fighting before he had that moment. Where is Overtaker? He's trying to... No, he's fighting Gillies. So this is a fight between Gillies, Messino and Overtaker here then. All for 24th, 5th and 6th. What is a net 23rd because Mackenzie's got to pit. How far is Mackenzie? Mackenzie's only 9 seconds behind Benny Varga, to be fair, so not a lot of time there. Matt Wright looking up the inside of Gray Langley. This is for 20th place. Matt Wright goes through. Langley's not gave up on that one yet, though. And he does now. Backs out of that, so he's going to allow Matt Wright to try and attack the rear of Manavola. Gilly still fending off Overtaker. And Overtaker's got to be careful here because it's been more than 3 corners that blue flags have waved. There's at least 2. And as we come down, look, you see the blue flag being waved again. And Overtaker now decides to let Leger go. Did he also let Schmidt go? No, he did not. He's going to pull to the inside now. And he's flashing the lights that something is Overtaker there. And he does let Gillies go. Leger flashing his lights like mad at... he does let Schmidt go. Leger flashing his lights like mad at Gillies. These two are racing, though, but they still have to abide by that blue flag law. Oh, there's another old face as well. Lexi's in the chat. Oh, welcome back, Lexi. Nice to see you there as Gillies goes a little wide, and that's Patrick Leger to put a lap on him. Swindle Max saying, love that in-car view. Indeed, we do. Schmidt now flashing Gillies for Gillies to let him through. And Schmidt, is he going to let that Honda go? Will Overtaker try and follow Schmidt through? Thinks about it. Schmidt wants to try and shut the door, but nearly... Gillies wanted to shut the door, but nearly into the rear of Schmidt there. Now Overtaker through on the inside of Gillies. So Gillies lets Schmidt go in the wrong place, and Overtaker capitalises. What a move from the champion of the last season of Project Cars 2. A very wily old move there from the Slovenian driver, of Overtaker. As Messino now lets them go as well, and Messino's gone too slow, and Overtaker may do it once again, round the outside of the mine shaft, up the inside into Crocodile. Gillies fancies following him through, and Messino there has lost 2 places in this matter of seconds purely because of blue flags, and Overtaker did it when he needed to on the start straight for Schmidt. What an opportunistic drive that is from the man who he's made a mistake, but he's come back through. Matt Wright now on the back of Manavola. Is he trying to get through? Because Manavola's still carrying that damage. Richie Michel has got Cardno close to him. Cardno's got McGowan. There's Mike Matthews in the background. Comore has passed Hibbs. So Comore moves up to 12 from the back of the grid as well. And Mezin, 4.4 still off the back of Radic and Harris. Just cannot close in at all at the moment. Back down to the close fight between the 3 of them. of Matt Wright, Manavola and Langley. Manavola's pulled away a little bit here. Langley can't get through yet. What's happening between Cardno and McGowan? McGowan has passed Cardno. So what a race this is turning out to be here. Absolutely fantastic between the front runners. Great move at the mine shaft. Hope you're doing well, Lexi. Hope you're doing well. What a job this could be. Don't forget, the racing isn't done this week on SimPlay Motorsport. We'll be back live on Saturday for the 6 hours of the Nordschleife, where Yoshi will be bringing you the action on that one, and he may be joined by our Tuesday night commentator Phil Radin. Might be joining him in the box, he said. So Yoshi might not be on his own for that one, so join into that. Right, still close to the back of Manavola here. They're just pulling away from Langley a little bit. Mackenzie still to pit in this race. What a shame for him that he had that stop on circuit. Radic getting close to Harris, but this is where he loses out. Mezin has gained 2 more tenths. Schmidt now 9 tenths off the back of Leger. But let's go back down to the Manavola Matt Wright fight. That's the closest one on circuit at the moment. How is uni going, Lexi? Hope it's going well. So here goes Manavola coming through right. He's lost out a little bit there. Did he make a mistake at the cheetah? Because that's brought Langley back into play on the back of Matt Wright. Pulling of Gray, our pro-am commentator. With a little wiggle through turn 1. Langley got a bit interested. Jimenez isn't a million miles behind in this fight either. What's happening further forward though? Milliston 8 tenths off the back of Gleeson. Gleeson is your gold leader here, don't forget. The Stothard's gaining on Messino, so is Messino coming to the end of his fuel. Milliston just onto the grass. Remember, he got a drive-through penalty. 6 hours at Nord's must-watch TV, says Swindle Mac. Well, Yoshi will be the man to bring you the action on Saturday of that one. I'll actually be participating in that, in the Ford Mustang. The 136, so keep your eyes out for that one. Milliston then just getting a bit closer to Gleeson here. Was second place, was gaining, was under a second to Ben Rook, and got the drive-through penalty. And it's about how he can come back. If he gets past Gleeson here, he's only 3.2 off the back of Schmidt. Fastest man on the circuit still is Milliston. So he's on a charge right now. And let's see what he can do. Mezin's 4.7, so he's lost time to Radic and Harris. That might be as far as Mezin can go in this race, P10. Still a heck of a comeback drive. Gleeson makes a little bit of a mistake coming out of turn 6. And that puts Milliston through. So Milliston moves up to 5th place. Gleeson still leads in gold, because Harris is 2nd place, with Class back up to 3rd after Class was dominating the gold race and then had the moment at the cheetah. This is Richie Michelle, currently 5th in gold, and has got McGowan on the back of him, the platinum driver. Langley's got back ahead of Matt Wright, it says further down, and indeed he has. There he is. That's allowed Manavola to pull away a little bit, and Jimenez has got closer to the back of these two. Stothard's on the rear of Messino. Evening to XCL TV, hope you're doing well. I believe that's meant to be Tinnis because he's then just put, oops, not on my personal YouTube. Lexi saying we'll start in September. A lot of prep needed to do though, is moving far from home, and I need to find a new driver to support here in pro/am. It seems maybe I'll stay neutral. What university you go to, Lexi? Because obviously I know you're up by Alton Park, so you're sort of Manchester way. Mackenzie's now into the pit, so Stothard has got past Messino. Messina must have had a moment somewhere while I was reading the chat. And Langley's still got Matt Wright on the back of him. Jimenez was coming into play here as well. And Richie Michelle gaining on Hibbs and McGowan gaining on Richie Michelle still. And further forward, we've got the Harris, Radic. And they've gained on Marinic. Was Marinic made... no, sorry, it was Milliston who passed Gleeson, wasn't it? Marinic is being caught by Harris now. So the Lexus looking to try and take some more points. Lexus had forward round in the background, so that would have been Messino. 26. Oh, when it rains, it pours. And Paul McKenzie, who's had a technical problem somewhere because he was stationary on the road for ages, has now got a drive-through penalty. You have to feel sorry for the young man. Oh, thank you, Swindle, man. Nice to see XLTV all good. Hope all is good on the comms. Great on the comms. Forget how tough it is on your own. Lex says, very close to Donny. That's all I must say, so I don't give it away. So I don't give away my location too much. DM me. Give me a DM, Lexi. If you're this one, finally put a face to the name. If you're this way down. Vasic, didn't see what that message said there. Neil Broom. So what was your favourite 3 cars again? I've forgotten. Sorry, old age creeps in from time to time. My favourite 3 cars, Neil. If you're asking my favourite 3 cars of all time, are we talking cars in general or race cars? Because they're probably all touring cars, if I'm going to be honest with you. But I will give you my 3. There's Harris here on the back of Marinic. We know how good that Lexus is in a straight line. You can see the Porsche getting that almost triple slipstream from Stoffard in front as well as Harris goes to the left, goes to the right, pulls to the left, looks up the inside of Marinic. Great little move from Michael Harris. Moves up the inside and takes 6th place, 7th place in this race from Marinic. So he's back to where he was before the round of pit stops. It is tough for solo comms. I have to do it for work some of the times as well. So, well, not for a bigger job, should I say. It is very, very tough. Drive through for that is the Nissan of Mackenzie. Still got service drive through. Ben Ruck and Vitas. We have barely seen them today. They've been so good. Chris is saying, Matt, we meeting at any BTCC this year? I think Dan said he's doing Thruxton and Donny. I sadly can't do Thruxton. My partner's working on the Friday and the Monday. She can't get them off. We was hoping to book a week off after that and go down towards Cornwall. As her mum lives down that way, we was going to go down there, and Harris puts a lap on Stothard. But we can't do Thruxton. But I will be at both Donington Park. So if you're at Donny in April or in August, I will definitely be there. And possibly Donny for the British GT, but I'm not sure yet. I'll keep you posted. But I'm definitely at Donington in April and in August. So if you're at any of them, be good to see you there. Milliston is gaining on Gleeson. In fact, no, Gleeson's got back ahead of Milliston. So has Milliston made a mistake somewhere then? Neil always goes to Donington. Yes, which one are you going to, Neil? April, August? Which one are you going to? Yoshi, I need to go to a BTCC meeting one day. Indeed you do. And Donington, there's quite a few of us that go. Donington, old drivers who still race today. A lot of us go. Donny in April is 18th, the weekend of the 18th, 19th, I believe. And the one in August, I think, is closer to the bank holiday weekend in August. So, yeah. Yeah, we'll be at one and the British GT. Oh, so you're at the British GT, Donny. Right, so I might see you twice this year then, Chris. Sweet. Get on. Looking forward to that one. Oh, who's that off? Was that Benny Varga? Didn't see the car go off. It is Benny Varga hard into the wall. Gillies goes through. Stothard may also get past Benny Varga here. Indeed he does. What about Messino? Messino's too far back. Right, McGowan has passed Richie Michelle as well. So Ian McGowan trying to chase down Hibbs once again. Radic trying to chase back Marinic. Marinic trying to get ahead of Harris still. Gleeson sticking with Milliston. We're into the final 20 minutes. No, we scouted Bennett Thruxton. I really want the Plato team to do well, and that pains me to say as a Matt Neal fan. But I really want the Plato team to do well. They've got 2 great drivers. I'm going August, so I think that's the 22nd, 23rd. Right, I'll see you in August, Neil. I'll be pitching up a tent. Hopefully Mike's found my SimPlay flag that I placed an order for and he can get that sent down. And you'll find the SimPlay flag, whether it's at the campsite or on the circuit. It'll be there. Not on a flagpole, because I haven't got a flagpole for it yet, but I'm just going to tie it up somewhere. Yeah, it'll be good, Lexi. Right, Milliston P5 from Gleeson. This is your fight at the moment. What is happening between that Matt Wright and Langley battle with Manavola? Not a lot, because Matt Wright has dropped off the back of Langley. Langley's still on the back of Manavola at the moment. Yeah, it was Thruxton. We were stood. Dan and Ben was on the simulator at one of the merchandise stalls. And Kelly was chatting to you at Thruxton. It was our first time at Thruxton. There's Mackenzie does his drive-through penalty. So yeah. I'm sure we'll pop something in the Discord, Neil. Where do you normally sit, Neil, when you go to Donny? Where's your sort of go-to place to sit on race day? Yeah, Thruxton is where we scouted you, because Kelly's not been Donny for years, to be fair. So it was good though, good day that. Remember, if you are new to the channel and you want to subscribe, and you want to subscribe and you want to see more of the action here at SimPlay Motorsport, hit that bell to be notified, the thumbs up button if you like what you see on the stream, and subscribe to the channel if you are new. We're into the final 17 minutes. Langley has a big slide, and is that going to allow Matt Wright to have an overtake on Langley? I think he was too far back into the S's. Indeed he was, so can't get it done there. Gleeson still attacking the back of Milliston, and Harris is pulling away slowly from Marinich and Radic. Comar's P12 and gaining on the back of Class at the moment for that top 11. He come from the back. Lexi saying, I'll need to double check what access press pass gives. Hold up, Lambo P1. Did I miss while I was away? Nothing. Ben's been P1 all race. Yes, you're right. She went back through. That was the Saturday when Ben ended up beating Dan for that for the prize money at that hospitality that merchandise stall. Disabled parking, Grapeview. We normally sit on the infield by the Craner curves. And there's always a good group of us that go as well. Always a good group of us that go. So keep your eyes out for us. We are, yeah, we always have a good group that go to Donington. So keep your eyes out there for us. Some of them are old drivers as well, so old drivers, new drivers. Should be a good one to go to, and obviously everybody, you know, everybody who's there, come and say hello. It'll always be a good time. If you're camping by the circuit, we always go to Garage 39 at Donington for a good drink. It's always a good time. 2 years ago. Right, jeez. Time does fly. I believe Ayrton was conceived at Thruxton that night, Chris. Just to let you know. Neil saying, yeah, I sit the opposite side to this. So there we go. Lexi saying, who's your old team's pick for the BTCC in 26? Restart here. I want to support Accelerate because I really like Tom Ingram. I've always been a Shedden fan from his Honda days with Matt Neal. So I kind of want to support MB. Plus I've got a friend of mine works for the Toyota team. But I also kind of, and this is so wrong to say as a Plato fan, I also kind of want to support Plato Racing. I really do want to support Plato Racing. Don't know why. I just think that they're going to be, you know, I think they've brought in two cracking, Rowbottom and Morgan. The last time Mercedes was in the touring cars, Rowbottom and Morgan drove that car as Comar gets into a big slide. McGowan's gaining on Hibbs once again. Yeah, looking forward to Donny. Under 50 days to go to the start of the season. Geez, Ben was 14 next year. I'll have a licence and a car. Don't worry, Mathew, I'm nearly 21 now, if that makes you seem old. It does, because I'm 33, 34 this year. Do we think, Chris, obviously you know Dan Rowbottom, do we think that was done because of the fact that him and Plato do fifth gear together? I think that was kind of brought up there. Langley and Matt Wright having a battle with Manavola. 13 minutes 55 seconds to go. This could be a close little fight between these three. Gilly's back into the pit, sadly for him. Oh, just a camping pot. I don't like camping. I don't camp at the circuit. There's a campsite right outside the main entrance. Good facilities there. Shower facilities and stuff. A lot better than a Portaloo. So we camp there every year. You won't miss my tent either. Great big 13-man inflatable tent. You won't miss that one neither. Glad he's got a seat again after last year. Should be a good season. I've got Silverstone first to watch the F1 with my son. I don't know if the F1 interests me to go much. I tell you, I really hope gets a seat this year is Senna Proctor. I thought he drove fantastic in that Hyundai last season. Here McGowan's still on the back of Hibbs out. Race just quieted down a little bit. There's battles happening, but nobody really mounting a charge. Let's just remind the front three, because we've not seen Ben pretty much all race. He's just been in a world of his own. Same as Gary last night, to be fair. We didn't see much of Gary. Then comes Vitas in second, who again, we haven't seen a lot of in second place. Then it's Patrick Leger. Schmidt is P4. Milliston fifth. He's still defending from Gleeson. Gleeson's still there. Michael Harris is seventh from Marinich. And it's Radic, Mezin, Klass, Comor from Hibbs and McGowan, who are still going at it. They've been going at it for nearly an hour and a half tonight. Richie Michelle 15th from Tom Cardno. Mike Matthews, Manavola way behind, and he's got Langley putting him under some immense pressure here. This is the closest fight on circuit. Lexi says, Yoshi, if you stay in Derby, Skyline, bus every 7 minutes to Donny from train station. That's if you don't want camping in nature. And Chris says, so the talk started before the beginning of last season, but he wouldn't confirm any details to us. I tried to get the info out of him, but he's very happy to be back. The Merc was good last time it was in it, so I'm hoping that the Merc's going to be good again. 10 hours, 13 minutes. Where are you, Yoshi? Langley having a look on Manavola. This is bringing Matt Wright into play. Jimenez not too far. He's just got a glimpse of him there in the background. This could be an interesting one, this race. Could have a good last 10-minute spurt like we saw last night as well. Oh, he's in Plymouth, that's why it's going to take him 10 hours, fair enough. Ben hasn't had a mistake, which is nice to see. He's my driver of the day, but that's dad bias. I think I'll vote for Mezin in the comeback drive. As Langley looks to the outside now of Manavola. Has a look, bit more, bit of a contact there. Matt Wright's trying to squeeze through the middle. Still Langley drifting through the left-hander, through the right, yeah, the left-hander. Him and Manavola make a bit of contact. Langley's got through, so has Matt Wright. And Matt Wright now gets to run up the hill alongside Langley. Jimenez might get Manavola as well. And Matt Wright through on the Ferrari. So Langley gains no places out of all of that. And Matt Wright gains 2, but he has a wiggle on exit. Langley and him just dip a wheel onto the grass. Manavola giving a flash of the lights, presumably to Langley there. And Gillies, after his pit stop, did drop to the bottom end of the order. Manavola now under pressure from Jimenez. And further forward, we've got a three-way fight between Harris, Marinich and Radic here. Mezin only 2.9 back. When I said 10th might be all he can get out of this race, may have spoken too soon. Still 10 minutes to go. I'm going to go quiet for a second while I type up the driver of the day. So here we go then. This is the fight for 7th, 8th and 9th. Ben is 8.3 seconds up the road. It looks like the J's got the podium pretty much hooked up as well. Eight and a half minutes left in this race. What will happen as it goes on? Could be a real interesting one to see. With Marinich on the back of Harris. Comore's gaining on class now. So Comore looking for that top 11. McGowan has brought Richie Michelle and Cordno into another four-way fight here. Matt Wright has lost out to Langley. Langley's 2 seconds ahead now. Manavola and Jimenez, have they had a coming together? Because they're now 9 seconds behind Matt Wright for some reason. And Manavola has lost out to Jimenez. Another four-way fight happening here. McGowan just has not been able to get past Hibbs all night tonight. So let's see what will happen as Ian McGowan putting that pressure on. Final 7.5 minutes of this race. And what a race it has been here. Harris finishing ahead of class will keep up that championship charge in gold. He is the gold leader in the championship. Don't forget, Saturday, Yoshi will be bringing you all the action from the 6 hours of the Nordschleife. The second round of the Endurance Championship. And then next week we'll be heading over to New York for Watkins Glen for the Who Darren Cup Pro-Am and Pro Series. Join us live on Tuesday night from 8 PM. UK time for all the action there at Watkins Glen. And the weather looks a little funky and interesting at the moment. The temperatures me and Mike saw today, 21, 22, 7. Make of that what you will. I won't say what the weather was doing, but my was it spicy. McGowan just cannot get... You know what? Mike's only 1.9 off the back of Cardno here. He's getting closer to the back of Richie Michelle. This is looking back from Richie Michelle's point of view. Mike is there. 6 minutes left. Could easily be another position for Mike Matthews here. Great class for me as a rookie, putting yourself in position to pounce when opportunity presents itself. Great racing. Indeed, it has been, Swindle Mike. It's been great racing all night long. It's been absolutely fantastic. Once again, a big thank you to Design Manchester and Big Apple Logistics for sponsoring the Pro Series. Richie Michelle at the moment just trying to stay in front. They've dropped off the back of McGowan and Hibbs a little bit. Mike's within 1.8 now. McGowan looks to the outside line of Hibbs. Can't get it done around there. So not able to get through. Gleeson still on the back of Milliston then. Into the final 5 minutes we go. This man has been dominant tonight. Was under a little pressure early on, but Milliston got the drive-through penalty. But this man has been dominant tonight. Lexi, great to see one thing ain't changed. AK, Langley and Wright can't escape each other. That they can't. And McGowan's not been able to escape. Hibbs hasn't been able to shake McGowan off him. Clauble saying been great racing all week. Indeed it has been fantastic all week long. The AM race was amazing. The showers that could have came but didn't in Who Darren Cup. Pro-Am was brilliant last night. Bar the server issues, the race was brilliant last night. And then tonight it's been really good. We've only lost the two drivers of DeCourt and Ugoni. Man, what a night's worth of racing. Radic on the back of Harris. Radic has got past Marinich here, actually. Let's put Mezin on the back of Marinich now. So Marinich has lost out. So Mezin looking for a P9 now. McGowan still on the back of Hibbs, sorry. Richie Michelle has got Cardno for company. Mike slowly chipping that gap down. Further down the order, Matt Wright has lost out massively now to Langley. Langley up to 18th place. What a night it has been for everybody out there. Some great racing. 90 minutes, the first of two 90-minute races. The next one will be at Indianapolis in a few weeks' time. What a night it has been. See the Watkins Glen race next week, Laguna Seca the week after, so a double American trip, then over back to Britain for Snetterton, and then back over to Indianapolis for the evening race as Mezin, he's got himself a drive through. What a shame for Mezin, picks himself up the drive through penalty. So sadly there is just gonna lose out. Hibbs has got past by McGowan, and Richie Michelle nearly looked up the inside of Hibbs there as well. So it's all kicking off in the last 5 minutes. Tanner Kneebone saying, I put magnets in their cars before the race so they legally can't get too far from one another by the laws of physics. Swindlemax said the GT4s were awesome a couple of days back. Says Yoshi. Josh Vigett says holy loud, and then Yoshi put that scared me. Chat, he's done it again. Oh snap, that's horrible track, says Chris. Who's done what again? But Mezin has got a drive-through penalty. That's Benny Vargru's being a lap down. Mezin's got 2 laps to do his drive-through. And now all of a sudden, Richie Michelle is putting Hibbs under some pressure. And this will be for 4th place in gold with Cardno. Mike Matthews not really gaining too much as Cardno looks up the inside of Richie Michelle. And is that the move done? Was there contact? Because Cardno doesn't get past him in the end. And that has really brought Mike into play. The advert gave Clarbel a heart attack. Sorry, Clarbel. Josh saying that he's done it again. Who's done what again, or is it me that has done something wrong? But either way, what a race this is. Been absolutely fantastic. We're into the final minute and 10. And yeah, what a night this has been. This has been absolutely chaos. Mezin's got that drive through to do. Where's Ben Rook on track? Coming round to start the final lap of the race. So Gleason's got 1 and a bit laps to go. Harris has got to fend off for 1 and a bit laps. But there's Marinich as well. Mezin's got that drive through. So that could put Class up into the top 10. Comar just behind him. Then a big gap back to McGowan with Hibbs, Richie Michelle, Cardno and Mike Matthews. Langley's got Matt Wright on the back of him once more. What a night of racing this has been. Going to go back to the Hibbs, Richie Michelle, Cardno, Mike Matthews fight. That's the best one. Josh saying the transition you used was significantly louder than the rest of the broadcast. Yeah, apologies. Excuse me. Apologies. When I put the transition in, I actually forgot to turn the volume down. So if it wasn't for you guys telling me, I'd have forgot to check that because I forgot to lower the volume on it. So I do apologise for the loudness of it. I have turned it down for me at change screen once again. Mezin is in for that drive-through penalty, so we'll see where Mezin... Oh, he's got a stop-go! He's got a stop-go penalty for speeding in the pit lane that he will not be able to complete. So that will give him a time penalty of at least 60 seconds at the end of the race. What a shame. Who's back into the pits? Gillies is back into the pits. So we're on the final lap. Where is Ben Rook, who's been dominant in this race? We'll catch up with him in a moment. Just want to stick to Comar and Class for now. They're pretty close to each other. Cardno was close to the back of Richie Michelle. He looks left and looks right. Can't get past him though. He's going to try around the outside. Can he get the move done? No, he can't. Mike Matthews waiting in the wings. Right, Ben is coming through the cheetah. And this man, Ben Rook, what a drive it has been for the young man today. Second in the championship. You feel that might not be for much longer because he comes to the line. Ben Rook wins at Kyalami in dominant fashion. Vitas, what a drive from this young man. Second place for him in a fantastic drive. Patrick Leger will take third place from Schmidt in fourth. And then a bit of a gap back to Milliston, who comes across the line for P5 with the fastest lap. Gleeson wins in gold. Looks like Harris is going to hang on in there over that of Radic. Indeed he will. Harris gets a podium in gold from Radic 8th. Marinic 9th. Mezin will cross the line in 10th. But it's not going to matter because he will get that time penalty to his name. And we'll then have to wait and see where Mezin drops down to. But he crosses the line P10 effectively. Comore, he's just going to get class to the line for P11 and 12. What a drive from them two. Hibbs is flashing McGowan. He clearly wants another place. But I don't think he's going to get it. He has got it. Hibbs has got McGowan, so Hibbs gets McGowan at the line. Richie Michelle stays ahead of Cardno. Mike Matthews P7 at 16. We just await now for Langley. Langley's going to take... It's not 17th place. Drivers have left the lobby after they've finished the race, so we'll have to sort the results out at the very end. But Langley crosses the line. Matt right behind him. Then it will be Jimenez. But oh boy, what a race. Let's take a quick screenshot of these results to get the tables, the spreadsheet correct. And Mezin dropped to 20th place here. Ouch, that is going to hurt him. And we'll hopefully get a few drivers in for a quick chat at the end of this one, as I'm going to move the microphone across the room to input these points while I wait for any driver that wants to come in for a chat. We'll give them a few minutes to join in, and I will input these points on the spreadsheet. So class at the end of that race came across the line P11. DeCourt retired. Cardino was P15 at the end of that one. Messino was down in 23rd. Not a good night for him. Maiger wasn't here. Van der Ven wasn't here. Richie Michelle come across the line in 14th place. Hibbs crossed the line in gold in P12. Manavola was down in 21st. Benny Varga down in 24th. Matt Wright finished just above them in 18th. Butcher wasn't here. Gillies was last of the finishers in 27th. Wainwright wasn't here. Stothard was 25th. Jimenez crossed the line in can't see his name, 19th place for Jimenez. Rob Smith not here tonight. Langley was in 17th. No Castro, no Ramsell, and no Westerich either. And then if I just finish and put in the platinum drivers into that one, Marinic set the... Was it Marinic who set the fastest lap? No, it was Milliston, sorry, who set the fastest lap. Mezin, all the way down in 20th place. Ian McGowan finished the race in 13th. Overtaker was down in 22nd after that big incident. Patrick Leger, as we know, was 3rd. Milliston was 5th with the fastest lap. Sokolov not here. Comore was not here. Mike Matthews, in fact, was Comore here? I don't think he was he? No, he wasn't. Mike Matthews finished in 16th. Mackenzie, what a shame for the Nissan driver, was going so well for him. He was 26th until he had a problem. And that is the end of that. We are joined by a couple of the drivers now. We'll first of all start off with the gold driver, of Michael Harris. Michael, second today, but a pretty good showing because a top 10 overall.
Really, and that's kind of what I did. Probably stayed out a little bit too long for the pit stops, so that put us back behind Marinic. But yeah, there was a nice little move going into turn 1 to get that place back, and then it was just about fending off Radic towards the end, really.
It was a good little fight between yourself and Radic, actually, at the end, and Marinic as well, all involved in a nice little battle towards the last part of that race. You was in the thick of it, wasn't you, for the whole 90 minutes, really?
Yeah, pretty much. I think there was a little moment where I was a bit in no man's land, but after the pit stops, everything came back together. So it was just completely not a focus and trying not to hit that cheater curve. But yeah, it was a good showing, actually. Also from Ben as well, getting the overall win there was a mega drive.
Yeah, indeed. What do you think to the 90-minute race then? First time we've done it. Did you enjoy that? You a fan of that one?
I'm always a fan of longer races, Mathew. You should know that.
Well, that leads me on to my next question then, to be honest. Saturday, Nürburgring, 6 hours. We're sharing a car together. What's your thoughts on that? What's your thoughts on Watkins Glen for next week?
Considering the Nürburgring and the Mustang, I can't give you an answer for that. I've done absolutely zero practice, so apologies. But Watkins Glen next week, I don't think it's a track I've driven with the Lexus, so maybe just try and get on at the weekend and get some laps in and see how it feels, and then go from there, really.
Well, congratulations tonight, buddy. Second place in the gold, and a really top job from yourself.
Thank you.
We'll then turn our attention to that of Patrick Leger. Third place, Patrick, but it was a stressful third place for the majority of that race. You had 4 cars putting you under pressure and keeping you honest until the last half an hour or so.
Definitely. You could definitely say scrap the last hour, because I felt pressured a lot by Smith as well, because if I didn't get the act up together, he would have gotten me. I'm sure of that. But yeah, it was very stressful. Of course, I had an amazing battle with Overtake, where also Schmidt had also a little look in it as well. And other than that, it was literally hot lapping to save my life, because like you said, it was very stressful. I was always looking behind me there today. But I'm very content with my P3 and my second podium on the main race as well. I'm very stoked with that.
You had good pace in practice. You shown the pace you could have done. And it looked at one stage like Overtaker was really starting to attack you hard. He made the mistake behind. Did that kind of give you a bit of breathing space for a little bit?
Now, I think from the moment where Overtake and Schmidt were fighting each other after I forced Overtake to go right, I think that was the moment where I got control again, because after that the gap was not smaller than a second anymore. And then of course it definitely helped that Schmidt make a mistake in Cheetah, I believe he did. And then I mean, yeah, it was taking it a little bit more easy till the pit stop, and then of course trying to escape for Schmidt in my second stint.
Now, again, same question to you as I've just asked Harris, I suppose. You're doing the 6 hour of Nordschleife on Saturday in the Ferrari with Millington. What's your thoughts on that one, and then the thoughts on Watkins Glen as well?
Watkins Glen, I think, is one of the best tracks this game has to offer. About the Nordschleife, I'm really looking forward to it. I hope Steve Millington is also very well known with the Nordschleife, and if he is, I think we can definitely get a lot of points and maybe even a podium as well. I'm very confident in the Nordschleife now, and I hope Millington is as well.
Well, congratulations tonight. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And Ben Rook in the chat, seen that Natasha, I believe that's your mum, said, nice one, Ben, well done. Your dad was, yes, Ben, P1 driver of the day. Ben's tyres are so bad he couldn't do a burnout because his tyres blew, apparently, at the end. That was probably one of the quietest races you've ever had.
Oh, it was stressful. It was... I forgot the guy's name behind me, but he was bloody quick. And I saw that he went off, and I said to everyone in the chat, about this rate, he might get a drive-through, and later, not even a corner later, he did. So that was a lot of relief.
He was putting you under some pressure, wasn't he, at the start of that race? Because it looked like you had a good 2-second buffer. Your dad come in the chat and said that you was trying to save a bit of tyres. And then he really started to, after you started to put your foot back down, he really started to close on you.
Yeah, no, so since lap 5, I realised he was much quicker, so I decided to push. And from that point on, it was just push, and obviously destroyed my tyres. So he did well to keep his tyres in check and have a 2-second gap to me that entire time. So
after the drive-through, though, dude, it was pretty much plain sailing, wasn't it? About keeping the car on track and not getting a drive-through penalty for yourself. Because I don't think I've seen you have an easier race than that. The last time I think you had that much of a buffer was Snetterton a few seasons ago, and we know what happened back at Snetterton. You had the mistake, and O'Reilly wins the race. But that looked one of your, you know, I'm not going to say easy because it's never easy, but that looked one of your more calming races.
I don't know, my heart rate was high the entire time just to not make a mistake. I mean, seriously, the things that can happen around here is just immense. So I'm happy that I didn't.
Well, you're doing Watkins Glen next week. So thoughts on Watkins Glen for next week? What can you do around there? And what's your thoughts for Watkins Glen, I suppose?
You know what? I have no idea. The last time I drove Watkins Glen was in the Aston, when I first joined Audio Sport, so that was a long time ago. So I haven't driven it since, so the Lambo's going to be new to it, and I pretty much am as well.
Well, we wish you the best luck. You have got the fans' vote for Driver of the Day, and you're going to get my tied vote for Driver of the Day for Platinum, because I'm going to give it to Mezin as well. Bother stop going. I think he had a great comeback drive, like yourself at Brad. So you got the tied vote from me and the fans' vote for Driver of the Day. My gold Driver of the Day, I'm going to have to give it to Gleeson. P6 was fighting Milliston all the way to the end as well. I think he had a great night in that one. So I'm going to go the way of Milliston for Driver of the Day in gold. But we do move to Watkins Glen next time out for the Who Darren Cup Pro-Am and Pro. But the racing isn't done at SimPlay Motorsport for this week. We are back on Saturday for the 6 hours of the Nordschleife. Make sure you join Yoshi Live for all the action there. That'll kick off around about 4 o'clock. Around about 3:45, on Saturday afternoon UK time. So make sure you join Yoshi for that one and give him plenty of support in the chat, because 6 hours is a very long time for him to do. And if any drivers are listening and fancy joining him in the comms box just for a chat every now and again, more than welcome to do so. But thank you all for tuning in and watching. Thank you as well to our Patreon members who are on more Swift